Hey guys, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the live stream. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I think you see me too much these days. I feel like I'm in your face now every single day. I hope you guys are not sick and tired of my face. Every day I'm in your face. How you doing, Amayeme? You okay, Flava? Abby and her boys, you're welcome. Lovely Rary. You're welcome. Indiama, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Today is going to be an interesting one because I am not doing the talking today. Yeah, a drive through the city. How are you? West, how are you, my sister? Now I know you, so I know you're a woman. Juliet, you're welcome. Joyce, Rahim, Adewale, you're welcome. Chelsea, Christy, I salute every one of you. Kasikwe, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Ola, your camera is off. Okay. Now,
Okay. You can hear
yeah,
me now, right?
yeah, we can hear you here.
Awesome.
So tonight we are talking all men matters. Brothers are in the house. We're going to talk about brothers, and they are going to tell us what they want. What do brothers want? That's what we want to talk about today. And I'm not going to be the one that will tell us because I'm a woman and I'm learning and I'm here to learn. I got my pen and I got my paper. I'm going to be taking notes as they are telling us. It's a school. Somebody said it's Obodo Oyinbo University.
Yeah, so
That's what someone said today. I couldn't laugh on my Instagram. He said, we are here to learn on Obodo Oyinbo University. So, yeah. So, help me welcome our brother here. He's Ola of Lola and Ola. I think I feel like I always have to call the name together because it's Lola and Ola. He's a member of our family and he spoke very, very intelligently in one of our sections. And a lot of people were saying, oh, Auntie B, you've got to bring it back. You've got to bring it back. You know, your wishes are my command. So I've got Ola back. Say hello to Ola. Ola, you're welcome to the show.
hello everyone. Hello Sister B. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a great honor. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come and speak to us. All these stubborn women. All these women tí wọn ò fẹ́ gbọ́, tí wọn ò fẹ́ gbà.
Is that what they said?
That's what they said, though. They say we are too stubborn. We don't behave like African women anymore. When we come over there, we learn Oyibo ways. So today we want to learn from you. So how are you, Ola?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm blessed, highly favored, and I believe it or not, I'm also here to learn. And I want to learn first because I believe in making sure that I'm not speaking to things. I'm speaking to humans. So if I'm speaking to humans, I want to understand their perspectives first because nobody fell out of the skies. They have an idea in their head what they think men want already.
Yeah.
And I would like to speak from that perspective because what I found, my wife and I we created a program called OlaandOla.com where we share a lot of content around marriages and relationships. And what we learned for a lot of people reaching out to us a lot of times is that even men themselves don't often know what they want, or at least they know what they want. There's a disconnect between what they want and what they need. And there's
Right.
also a massive disconnect between what they want, what they need, and how they communicate what they want and what they need. So those are like, if you listen to what I just said, that's like four different things altogether.
Right.
So those are the things I would like to unpack. So for the ladies in the house, I would like to know what ideas they have of what they think men want and what they've heard from other men that claim that that's what they want as well too. And then we can now start unpacking it small from there.
All right. Thank you very much, Ola, for that. And hopefully, we're going to have brothers in the house in the comment section as well. We've got other brothers that are going to join us later on. I'm also expecting Ima. Ima was here the other day, and all the ladies in the house loved him so much because he spoke the language that we understand. And the way he was talking, it was hard to believe that this is a Nigerian man. And I always say this on the show that men are not all the same. All Nigerian men are not the same. It depends on your experience, how you were raised, the home you come from. It
Correct.
offers from the ladies here who are some of them who are single. So yeah, so hopefully Ma will join us. Uncle Tony also is going to be here later on. And if you are a man, if you're a brother here, in my comment section, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the comment section. Please, if you have a question, you have a contribution, post it in the comment section. I will highlight it. And if it's something for me, I will answer it. If it's for Ola or the other men that will be here, I will present the question to them.
Awesome.
So we're going to start by talking about this because this is all about marriages. This is all about relationships. And I want to start the conversation by asking you fundamentally, what do you think, Ola, is the difference between modern day marriages in the 21st century, especially Obodo Oyinbo marriages, and how marriages were conducted back home in Nigeria?
Well, it's different, and for obvious reasons, it's different, right? Back in the days, even as far back as when I was growing up, I'm 41 years old. Even as far back as in the late 80s into 90s that I was growing up, my grandparents are polygamists. You know, that's just what it was. So the dynamics of those families are quite different. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Can you
It,
guys hear Ola? Let me know in the comment section if you can hear him. I hear him very clearly. Just
awesome.
let me know. Okay, go
Okay,
on.
perfect. Right. So what the dynamics of marriage back then is quite different. The what human beings want is not different. At the very core of who we are, what we want is not different. Everyone is trying to survive. So we start from basic things like clothing, housing, shelter, right? But we're talking relationships. We're talking about matters of the heart now, right?
Yeah,
So in that case, every human being, not just women or men, we all want six things. We want certainty. We want variety. We want significance. We want to feel significant. We want connection. What other people, some people may refer to as love, right?
right.
We want growth. We want contribution. We all want those six things, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how we receive those things vary from people to people, vary from culture to culture, vary from generation to generation, and you guessed it right, vary from gender to gender, right? So it depends on which one of these different boxes that is the
Mm,
reality that we've created for ourselves. It depends on where you fall, how you receive those six basic human needs.
yeah,
So back then, how our fathers felt significant, a lot of times is how many wives they have.
right.
A lot of people will say it's because of the farm, because they want to go to the farm, they want to have many kids that they can take to the farm. In my
Yeah,
opinion, I think that's BS. Because I think that's part of it. That's one of maybe 1,000 other signals that made them do
right.
what they do.
Mm-hmm.
By and large, it's the culture. It was just what it was. Even people that don't have farm wanted to marry multiple wives.
Even the lazy ones wanted to have many wives.
Exactly. So even the ones that don't have his own house has wife in one corner or the other already, or people that travel, right? They have wives in different cities because it was generally acceptable, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think back to the question, marriage in back in the days or back home again, it can vary from places to places,
Mm-hmm.
localities, jurisdictions, country to country, right? Culture,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
different. The dynamics can be different, But the whole world is getting westernized in one way, shape, or form or the other, right? Some are faster than the other. We can call that the whole world is getting civilized. The
Yeah.
civilization coming, civilization, enlightenment, right? People are getting enlightened. So the ladies they're starting to understand that they do have options as well, right? And a lot of time, men, we're starting to use that as an excuse not to be leaders, right? The woman is not allowing me to lead. When you hear languages like allowing me to lead, allowing me to be a man, when you start
Mm.
emasculating, when you start hearing terminologies like that, I don't believe in such ideologies. I believe that that person is coming from a place of not being enlightened, and I believe that we can have more conversations and continue to learn more. But if you are in this society and you're a man and you want to be a leader, if the ladies are getting enlightened, it just means you have a different type of challenge. You still need to
Yeah.
be a leader regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Ola. Now, somebody said on the show not too long ago while we're having some of these conversations that men's needs are very simple. That women, we are the complicated one. We are the complex people. You know, that your needs as men is quite basic. Like, was it you that said that, Ola?
No,
Okay.
that cannot be me. Every human being is
Okay.
complicated.
Right. So the man, it was a man that said it that basically what they need
Yeah.
is sex, food,
And food.
and respect. That's what they want from women. Remember, the
Right.
question is what do our brothers want from their partners, from their wives? That's the
Yes.
question. So he said these are the three basic things that they need. Once they can get this, that they are okay. What do you
See,
say to that?
maybe if maybe some more than 5 years back, I would probably say something like that, right? But here's the thing. Remember what I said earlier? I think I mentioned it. But let me just say, a lot of time where there's difference between what we need and what we want, and how we communicate what we need and what we want,
Yeah.
right? So at the very core of it, does the man want sex because he wants sex, or because it makes him feel like the man in his household, right? What does it make him feel like when he's able to have sex every other day with his wife without experiencing rejection? What does that make him feel like? That's more so of the real deal, okay? Because some other men, that's not how they receive the same feeling.
Right.
There are men that don't need to have sex every other day. There are men, believe it or not, right? How about food? There are men that don't need you to cook for them.
Mhm.
Yes, most people who would claim to be traditional would say a woman should cook. That's coming from a traditional place. That's not necessarily what you need. That may be what you want based on what you think you are. So a lot of people don't even know themselves enough to have done the work to know what is it that I actually want. Is it food, sex, and respect? Or there are deeper things that these things make me feel like in my household,
Yeah.
because once that woman gives you food, sex, what we found in a lot of cases we handle is that once the woman puts on the hat of, okay, let me make sure I give him what he wants, food, sex, and respect, it's still not enough, because the core thing that he needs is not being addressed still, even though he's the one who said he wants food, sex, and so it's deeper than that. Are there
Yeah.
some people that are simple like that? Yes. For the most part, human beings, we have a complex brain, and it's never really that simple, especially when you're dealing with marriage. Most people that say I do, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Thank you, Ola. So, guys, I want you to please ask. I know sometimes you discuss amongst yourself in the comment section, and that's absolutely fine. But I want you to be a part of this conversation as well. So
Yes.
ask questions that we can actually address. Okay. Somebody is saying that just ask questions about, real life situations, examples of things that that, I mean, people are going through, you yourself or someone is going through. And these are really practical things that we can address. I would really like it to be an interactive section like that. So someone,
I heard somebody, sorry to interrupt, I heard somebody said, another man said, no, 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 I don't even want the food, sex, and respect thing. I need
Mhm.
peace, and I need you to allow me to cheat in peace. That's another person that said that.
Somebody said that just now.
No, not now, but
Oh,
I've heard
you've
men
heard
say
that.
that too.
Want
Yeah,
to
to their
cheat?
wives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I mean, the kind of things that we hear, it's unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, that's his own way. I mean, there are some sisters here who will tell you whatever you think you want is fine. It's all about negotiating it. So if you want peace and you want to cheat and you don't want food, you don't want sex, you just want to cheat and to cheat in peace, then as long as the other person knows that this is what they are getting into and they agree to it, then it's not a problem.
Right.
After all, people are in open marriages. There are
Of
some people who
course.
have open marriages whereby both of them can have relationship outside the marriage. As long as this is negotiated between the two people involved, it's
Right.
fine. It becomes a problem when this was not part of the plan. It was never agreed. We thought we're going into a monogamous, relationship, and all of a sudden, it's becoming a polygamy. Then the
Yeah.
woman says, "No, I'm not having it."
Right.
Okay, so that's one of the issues. So we talked about the issue of sex, food, and I have a feeling we're going to come back to it.
We
But somebody
definitely
asked,
will come back to that, especially the third one.
yeah, we will come back to it. But
Yeah.
somebody asked something already. I don't want to forget this, so I quickly clicked on it, and it's on the screen. It said
Mhm.
that please ask the question: how many men are actually competent? And let me expand by saying that one of the things that we identify why it is so difficult for women to maintain, we're going to come to submission later, why they cannot even submit or respect their husbands or the men in their life, is because of this lack of competency. When they are not men of that have got value, they don't bring anything to the table. They've got nothing to offer. They cannot offer any assistance financially. They are not there to support you emotionally. They are not caring. All the things that we women value or the things that we want, they can't give it. Then how then can you be expected to respect that man? So I guess that's what Sarah means by saying how
How
many
many
men
men
are
are
actually
actually competent?
competent?
Yeah.
Competence,
Yeah.
yes.
It's a fantastic question. For my estimation, gentlemen, don't take this wrongly. I think what I'm about to say is an opportunity for us to listen in closer and learn. That's the space we should all stay for the rest of our life until we die anyway, because I'm still
Yeah,
learning too.
yeah,
How many men are actually competent? I think they are 3% or less. Okay? I think they are 3% of the men you meet or less. Not because they are bad people. It's because these things are not common sense. Romantic issues, marriage issues, they're not common sense. In fact, common sense are a terrible guide for marriage and romantic issues. And that goes for both ends, not just men, but also women in general, but especially men, because when everything else fails, the society expects the men to still lead.
yeah.
So if we're in a space of funk in a society, if we're still going to claim that we're the leaders, we're still responsible to navigate out of it. There's a lot of battle of the sexes going on in these conversations.
Yes, yes, yes. You hit the nail on it. It always seems to me like Obodo Oyinbo marriages is a battle of the sexes. It's like we are competing when we should not be. It's like, husband and wife that should be working together against the outside world. It's like within the family, there's a lot of competition going on.
Yes, yes, it's competition, and the I hold us as men responsible for that, because you cannot compete with me unless I engage you. So if you say something, if you say you put this bottle of water here, why did you put it here? When I go, you too, you put it there too. The other day now, as a man who's supposed to be the leader in that equation, I am now competing with you, and it's
Hmm.
only natural for you to reciprocate and feel like we're equal.
Yeah.
And if you feel like we're equal, it's not because you feel like I'm equal. I created that because I engaged the competition. I am actively competing with my lady, right? So the confusion comes when I feel like, oh, if I quote unquote don't engage that with argument, I feel like I'm backing down. My ego has been rubbed off the wrong way. So I
Yeah.
must make her know, let her know who the boss is. If you ever
Yeah.
find yourself in a space where you feel like I must make her know who the boss is, there's a good chance that
You are not the boss.
you're not the boss.
You are not the boss. You don't need
Yes.
to prove what you are.
You
You
don't need
don't need
to.
to prove
Yeah.
what you are. You already know what you are.
Yes.
So, okay, Uncle Tony is in the studio. I'm going to bring him in a minute, but I want to ask you this first, Ola, because this is something that a lot of women in the diaspora, and 90% or about 97% of my subscribers are female. And the thing that really gets to women, that really gets to them, that makes them, that affects them more than anything, is this issue of cheating.
Infidelity.
Infidelity is something that today's woman cannot just tolerate. Our parents tolerated it, they celebrated it, they did all sorts, and our mothers turned their blind eye like they didn't see it. It was
Right.
acceptable in their own time. But Child Power is asking, why do men find it difficult to stay faithful?
All right, that's a good question too. Um, First of all, let's go back to what you were saying earlier about cheating. If we agree that we can cheat, it's no more called cheating at that point, right? Because
Yeah,
we're on the same page, right?
yeah,
But it's when the other person doesn't know that you're going to engage romantic relationships outside that it becomes cheating. It becomes unfaithful, right?
yeah,
So that's number one. But why is it that they find it difficult to be faithful? And this answer is often difficult to swallow. Whoever
right,
is asking the question or whoever is complaining about a problem has the most leverage in the issue. Okay?
right.
All right. So the person you're complaining about, they don't have leverage, right? So in this equation, the man who is unfaithful, right? They don't have leverage. I understand that the question is generalized, right?
Yeah.
But I
Mm-hmm.
need to bring it down to personal so we can clearly understand. If you're in a situation where you see that your man find it extremely easy to be unfaithful, the answer to that question is in the mirror. And I know it's tough to swallow. The answer, and I'll explain in a second, okay? Here's why we can't generalize. When it comes to romantic relationships, when you generalize like that, your outlook on every relationship or every man that comes into your life is going to be like everybody's a cheater.
Yeah,
And your mind is going to be focused on that, and you're going to attract exactly what you fear the most. That's how
yeah.
life works.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see cheater in every man you see. You're going to have your fence up. Naturally, because you're human too. It's not a matter of right and wrong. It's just what it is. It's just a reality. So the answer to that question is really in the mirror when we break it down to personal. If you feel like every man you get with, they just find it extremely easy to be unfaithful, the common denominator is you. What is it about you that keeps attracting an unfaithful man? Okay, let's say you're already married before you find out that he's unfaithful. Why does he find it comfortable to be unfaithful? It's because after all, if he's unfaithful, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna stay there and deal with it. Because you've proven that over and over. You've been catching him cheating over and over for the past 10 years, but you're there, he's still getting the same value that he's getting from you regardless,
Yeah.
as long as he's cheating. So people don't change their behavior unless there is some kind of pain or pleasure involved. People gravitate towards pleasure and they gravitate away from pain. That's the summation of human behavior in general. People don't behave right because, quote unquote, they are God. They need to be faithful, or because they are Christian. That's not how human mind works. Even people with the most strongest core value that were raised to not do this kind of things, once they find themselves in a position where that cheating equals to gravitating away from some kind of pain, they will engage in that bad behavior and they will justify it with logic later. So the answer to that question is that it's a very general question. It's too generic and it's
Yeah.
very dangerous. The
Yeah.
answer is that anybody who finds themselves being in a situation all the time with unfaithful people, you are allowing it.
Yeah. Okay, tell me, you saying you're not getting the answer. Okay, don't worry, we'll come back to. Let me bring Uncle Tony is in the house. Hello, Uncle Tony.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good evening.
Hello,
Good
Uncle
evening.
Tony.
Hi, Brother Ola, how are you?
Nice to meet you, sir.
Pleasure is mine.
You're welcome, Uncle Tony. Very nice to have you here.
What's going on? What have I missed? What have I missed?
You've not missed much. They've just been grilling all our small.
Small,
This is
but
baptism.
grilling.
Small.
Yeah, brother Ola talks like a counselor, you speak like a professional. I don't know what he
Yeah.
does for a living.
I'm a
but-
professional student of the game. That's the
Ah,
title.
okay. Okay.
Ah,
That's
I told
good.
him already. I told Allah to be prepared that these ladies, they read.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Uncle Tony,
Yeah.
so welcome. We are
Yes,
starting
ma'am.
off by what we started off the conversation with is about the primary needs of men.
Yeah.
And Ola attempted that question. I don't know how satisfied people are with the answer.
Okay.
Uncle Tony, you need to turn down where you are watching YouTube from because it's echoing.
Oh, is echoing?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
mute.
yeah. Because where I am, I have to come to the bathroom to come to talk. Maybe that's why you're hearing the echo. Let me
No,
go
no, the
somewhere.
echo is from when you can hear the YouTube. You need to mute your YouTube. Are you speaking from the same device that you are using to
No,
call?
I,
Okay, so
I'm
that,
not on
when
YouTube.
you
I'm not on YouTube. I'm just speaking directly from. Can you still hear the echo now?
Not
are,
really. I can't hear it. Are you hearing it, Sis B?
let me see.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm not on
Hello.
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can
I
hear
think
you.
it's
I'm not
good
on
now.
YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. I
Yeah, I
was
can
in
hear
the
you
bathroom
clearly too.
before, so I have to move out of the bathroom. So, what
Okay.
question do you throw at me right now?
I was asking about what somebody said the other day about the primary needs of a man. How true that is. That is basic three things that a man needs, and that's food, sex, and respect from women, from the woman in their life or from their wives. I say, how
Okay.
true is that in 2021?
Well, it is partially true. Let me say that it is partially true, and I've been in married for the past 25 years, and what men want varies from time to time,
Okay.
depending on what stage they are in their life. Okay. For
Yeah.
instance, when you are young, you're newly married, you don't care too much about certain things. You only care about, okay, this is my pretty wife, and everything was good. The smashing is good, and everything is good, right?
Yeah.
However, as we get older, men tend to gravitate towards other things. Okay, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, as we get older, our aspirations in life are different from when we were younger. And
Yeah.
some women do not grow along with the men.
Yeah.
When you don't grow up with your man, you're going to have some little challenges along the way.
Yeah.
Because it's not all about smashing and smashing anymore now. It's about,
Yeah.
okay,
About
the
security. Yeah.
the kids are here right now. As they
Mm-hmm.
are getting older, how do we pay for their school fees?
Mm-hmm.
How do we buy a bigger home to accommodate the family? And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of stuff gets into the man's head.
Yeah.
Okay, and if as a woman you are not the serious type, and the man is trying to make you understand some of his aspirations, and you are not playing along with him, that's a turn off for the
Mm-hmm.
man,
Yeah.
and that could cause
Okay.
a bigger problem. So that means that you have to grow along with this man to be able to complement one another as you are getting older. Okay,
Right.
so that is number one. And let me go back because there are some root causes. There are
Uncle
sometimes
Tony,
we, yes, ma'am.
sorry, Uncle Tony, let me
Yes,
interrupt you.
yes,
Somebody
ma'am.
is asking a question. Common Sense Sisters, hello, sweethearts. They are asking, they say, can you please explain what growing up along with your man means, please?
Okay, growing up along with your man, as I said before, is to be able to complement him in his dreams and his
Mm-hmm.
aspirations in life.
Okay.
You cannot be with one entity and you are chasing two different things.
Yeah.
You both have to be on the same page in order to achieve the goals and aspirations for the family.
Yeah. So what I hear you say, Uncle Tony, is when you are not on the same page in terms of your ambition and dreams and chasing, your dreams. Or one person is the one that is on the fast lane and the other person is just okay where they are.
That is very correct. That
Okay.
is very, very correct. And let
Okay.
me say this: it goes both ways, though. It
Yes,
goes
yes,
both ways.
yes.
It
A lot
could
of
be the
women come
woman.
here and they tell us
Yes.
that their husbands are just okay. I live in the UK here, and I tell you, we have a lot of men like that here,
Okay.
Nigerian men
Yes. It
who
goes both
are just,
ways.
yeah, they are
I'm not
just
here.
okay, and
Okay.
they are just not pushing it at all.
Right.
And their wives now, and you see, I'm looking at my comment section. Sorry, Uncle Tony, I'll allow you to finish.
Sure. Sure.
But in my comment section, I'm seeing this lady has been saying, why are some men jealous of their wife's success? Why are they not happy when I know where she's going, because you always see this happen when the woman is the other way around, what you just explained now. She's the one that decided, okay, I'm gonna go get my master's. I want a career change. I want to do other
She's
things.
more ambitious.
She's more ambitious, and the man is stuck in this. Is meant to be. It's not meant to be a career. This is something you're supposed to do briefly while you were a student or while you were whatever. You just came here, but now they've just decided that, okay, I'm not. I'm okay here. Well, I don't want to do anything. It becomes a problem. So yeah.
Okay. Now, talking about that, I got two girls and a boy, and I tell my girls, one is already 19, one is 17, one is 15. I told my girls, I said, do not settle for less. What I mean by do not settle for less, I want your husband, your future husband, to be at least one step ahead of you in whatever he is doing, because society has put the leadership role on men.
Yeah.
And when you don't live up to that expectation, you lose the respect
Yep.
from your wife.
Clap for Uncle Tony, please. Guys, give Uncle Tony, just give this director. Uncle Tony
Thank
is
you.
dropping some
I agree
serious
100%.
wisdom. Oh,
Yep.
Let
in
me
fact,
give you let me give you an example. Some few years back, I was doing my masters. I was doing it online for 18 months. I was all alone in my office day and night struggling to finish my assignment. My wife would just come and say, "Hi, are you okay?" I say, "Yeah, thank you." Now she would just go back to her bedroom and sleep or watch television, whatever. I say, man, I couldn't do that. If she was the one doing her masters, she expects me to sit down by her and help her out. If you can't help your wife when she's in need of you, at that moment you are useless to her. You are useless to her. So therefore, women, as much as you are ambitious, you have to always look for a man that can complement you. Because when you are not on the same page, it's always a problem.
absolutely. I
Can
agree.
you as a woman, you read a book. The book is so encouraging, is so good and everything. And you say, honey,
Mhm.
I found this book. Can you please read it? They say, read what? I'm not going to read that's your book or whatever. When you can carry on an intellectual conversation with your spouse, you
Yeah,
are
you are a
drifting apart.
psychosexual.
You are
Omoya is in the
drifting
house. You
apart.
are a psychosexual, and she is just into Nollywood.
Okay, that's another thing. That's another thing. Your wife is watching all these Nollywood thing, and you as a man, you are the serious type. You want to talk about the future, what's going on, and she's not interested, or maybe her mental capacity can contain what you are trying to explain to him or her. That is
Yeah,
another problem.
yeah. I actually
And
know a
again,
man.
and
I know a guy. Yeah,
let me
sorry.
drift a little bit.
Okay.
When it comes to um what men like, I think there's always a problem at times when each of the parties is not interested in what the other is doing. Let me explain. Men in general, we love sports. If you're in America, you probably love baseball. You probably love American, football. Most Africans will love soccer. Okay, is your wife also interested in, oh, who is your team? Oh, who are the people playing today? Even though you are not going to play, but are you showing interest in what that man is actually interested in?
So,
Can he finish the game and actually say, honey, oh my God, It is Chelsea playing Man U and all these that our men always discuss. Some men will just, I mean, some women will be like, oh, I'm not interested in that game. He's always talking
Yeah.
about soccer, and she's in the kitchen just cooking, and she doesn't care. Can
Yeah.
you compliment him? Can you kind of, you are not really sitting down with him, but show some little interest in what he's doing, so
Yeah.
that he can have conversation with you, as opposed to going out to his friend's place and say, oh, we are going out there to watch soccer, and he stays out there all night and whatever, and all you do is just to complain.
Yeah. And
And
also,
and men,
somebody in the comment section is saying that, I'll come to you in a minute, please. Somebody is in the comment section is saying that, let me pin that most men are attracted to a woman with a lot of qualification. That's the simple truth.
are not most men,
Sarah,
most
I don't
men.
know how
Okay,
old you are, but you are so far from right.
no. Bridge, bridge,
Yes,
Bridget.
uncle.
She said
Yes.
most men are not,
She said I'm
are
not.
Oh,
not.
they are not. Oh, they are
They are
not
not.
attracted.
Right,
Oh,
right.
to a woman. Oh, okay.
That
No,
is
okay. This I'm
that is
confused now. What do you
that is
think?
actually right. That is actually right. That is actually right. And the reason why it's right is because men are, they have ego. Men have ego. Let's give it
Yeah.
to men. Men have
Okay.
ego. And the moment a man sees you that you are a little bit ahead of him and is
Mm-hmm.
unable to measure up to the standard, he goes back to his shell. Only very few ones with confidence and know what they are doing, they are the only one that will gravitate towards a woman that can challenge them. That's the reason why a man has to be a little bit at least ahead of the woman. Because when a woman is smarter than you, there's one Yoruba adage, if you permit me to say it, I will translate it again. Yeah,
Please.
Yoruba people said, "Tóbìnrin bá gbọ́n ju ọkọ lọ, kò ń réré ọkọ jẹ." Tóbìnrin tó bá gbọ́n ju ọkọ lọ, kò ń réré ọkọ jẹ. Meaning that anytime a woman is a little bit smarter than a man, it's very hard to get things from that man. Because men in general, they have the ego, and they always think that they have to be the one in, leading. And when the woman is not finding that easy, like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, let me take the leadership mantle. Then the man is having a problem with that. So I agree with that. I completely agree with that. The only solution to that is the woman just has to be submissive and be able to be smart enough to know how to present her case and be able to go along with this man. Even though you are smarter, you are richer, you are everything more than him, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
remain in that relationship, you just have to swallow your pride and be humble and be wise to be able to present your case anytime you want anything done in their house.
Thank you, Uncle
That's what I
Tony.
have to
Thank
say.
you so much. Thank you. Please just let me come to Ola. Ola, I'm going to ask you this.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes we marry people. Women, we come to you guys marry us. And what we see when we are going to that marriage is different from what we see when we are already in that marriage. Like maybe because of whatever reason, long distance dating, or maybe they didn't show you that aspect of themselves, or I don't know. But in most cases, some people get married and they realize that they never really knew the person they were dating. It was only when they got married they now realize that, oh my God. Some people get married and just even weeks into the marriage, they already knew that, oh, I'm done for. This person is not for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm bringing it to the issue of submission. Can a woman respect or submit to a man? Can a woman submit to a man that they do not respect?
Absolutely not. I'll say this first of all. A woman that does not respect you cannot love you. It's really that simple. Um, Even biblically speaking, when you break it down, the job of not job, but naturally speaking, women are capable of respecting as a reciprocation, as a reciprocal. I guess that's the word, right? As that's their way of reciprocating when a man loves them, right?
Yeah,
When they feel
yeah,
loved by a man, when they feel loved, safe, and secure by a man, women
yeah,
reciprocate in the form of respect, submission, and trust.
yeah.
Trust, submission, and respect is not a function of how holy you are. contrary to popular belief. It's not a function of how honorable you are or your capabilities as a person, even religiously speaking, right? Our righteousness in the eyes of God is empty, is stupid, is dumb, it doesn't make any sense. And in real life, in relationships, you see this play out. At the end of the day, most women are hypergamy, which is what Uncle was just talking about. They naturally look up, okay? Naturally. And if they force themselves because of society, what the society rhetoric into a place where they're telling themselves like, it's okay, the man can stay home. More often than not, the reality will rear its head eventually, which is, hey, I would like you to be a little bit more ambitious than I am. And then it creates problem. Okay?
Okay. Somebody on the comment section, Tammy T, another lady there is furious. That word, she says she doesn't even want to hear that word submission at all.
That's a problem too.
She says she doesn't want to hear it at all. I don't know what your experience is, chilled power, but calm down. Just calm down. Be calming down.
Let me address that. That's a problem too, because
can you see what's on the screen?
Yes, Bridgie, as long as we still go out about submission, this cycle of toxic ego of some men would not stop. The word should be respect. I disagree 100%, okay? Because when you go to work, you submit to a paycheck that you want to receive next week, Friday. Anything that has structure. So it's not, the problem is that we get defensive when we see the word. And I understand where you're coming from when you get defensive.
Because it's been abused. It's because that word has been abused.
Yes, even by men. You know, when you hear a man say, what I need is submission, that's a man that has lost respect and is trying to force submission out of you, right? So a lot of times it's used interchangeably. What we can't do is we can't get stuck on semantics of word. Let's pay attention to the feelings. Why is it that you're pushing so hard as a human being, as an individual yourself? Why are you pushing so hard against the word submission? What is the experience that you've had that made you push so hard against submission? When you go to the other extreme, so the man is on this extreme where he's demanding submission. Now you go to the extreme of let's eradicate submission. Both extremes are the enemy of relationships. Absolutes are the enemy of relationships. Instead, find your way to a place of understanding. Try to understand yourself first. You were asking, how do you know yourself? People change it. I didn't know myself as an individual until I was 10 years in marriage. I didn't know about myself. I know me, I know Ola, right? But I don't know the guy who, a woman, you can love a woman so much she can pull the negative out of you, where you're going to be self-aware enough to say, let me calm down. She's trying to say something I need to understand, as opposed to get defensive and attack her back right below the belt, right? So when I was attacking her below the belt, when we get into conversations and negative, toxic conversations, that is still myself that I didn't know until 10 years into marriage. So no one knows themselves until you're inside of relationships and you start to play it out. And that's why it's very important to stay in that space of remain a student of yourself, remain a student of your relationship, remain a student of the human mind. Because the human mind is no respecter of how holy you think you are or anything you bring to the table. You turn anything to a religion, it to get bastardized, it to destroy you, no matter how good that thing is actually on the surface itself. So I get it. Submission has been used in the toxic way. But here's the thing. If you want to build anything that's worthwhile in life, that has structure, somebody must be submitting. The man also must be submitting into the order. Because if you don't have submission playing a role, things will go out of order.
Yeah, somebody already said it now, that submission should be a two-way thing. And that was just before you said, after you said
just before I said that, right? Yeah.
So he already confirmed that it should be a two-way. So for us that are Christians, Uncle Tony, I'm coming to you now. For us that are Christians, we know how the Bible, what the Bible says about marriage. Husbands, love your wife. Wives, submit to your husband. Christ is the head of the home, of the man, and the man is the head of the family. So do you think that, Uncle Tony, this submission that some ladies they say it's the word that is making that is bringing toxicity to marriage? Should it be taken off the table?
Well, thank you for that question. First and foremost, you will submit to whoever you respect. You will
That's word.
always submit to whoever.
Regardless, you don't get to decide. Sorry,
The
I completely
moment
continue.
the moment the word submission is out of your dictionary, that means you do not respect that person anymore.
Yeah,
Respect and submission go hand in hand.
absolutely.
And we don't have to overflow the issue of submission. It's not something you do intentionally. It is something that comes subconsciously, based on the fact that you are in love with somebody, you respect that person, and then you submit. And I don't want it to be submit like, oh, are you, am I a maid or am I your slave? No,
Hmm.
no, that is not how we are going about it. And as somebody said earlier, submission is two ways too. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we should use the word compromise.
Hmm.
Just
I'm
to
not,
be
I don't
just
know.
to
Is
be
that exactly the same thing though?
Well,
Compromise.
you are not submitting, but you are compromised after you must have brainstormed and you have said this, okay, meet me halfway and I meet you kind of
It's a
halfway.
compromise.
That is what what compromise is. You might not completely agree with what your partner is saying or is doing, but you try to analyze it and you want to convince the other party, and then in the long run you say, okay, let me meet you halfway. That's a compromise.
Right.
And more or less is also part of submission too. You are not just hard-headed, say, hey, my way or highway. My way or highway is always a problem.
Yeah. I find that in my experience, women have no problem submitting to men that they love,
Yes.
men that they respect, and men that have shown them love. They
Yes.
have no
Absolutely.
problem.
Absolutely.
When you
And
see a
and
woman that is fighting submission, it's because her heart is not in that marriage.
yes.
She doesn't like that man. She doesn't love him. She doesn't even want to be with him. She's
Yes.
just in the marriage because of her children, or maybe their bills are joining them, or mortgage, or whatever. But I've never seen a woman who is so much in love with that man that struggles with saying, oh, I submit to his authority
Correct.
or I submit to his leadership. Because it's not about, like you said, for me personally, I don't see it as a servant slave kind of relationship. It's about headship. It's
Yes.
about who is the head. And a lot of women, for me, I don't know, I can't speak for other women. I don't have a problem with that. But is the man worth
Submitting
that
to.
position? Does he want it?
Right. Usually, I'll answer this question, and the same thing goes for trust, submission, and respect. I use them. They're not the same word for those of us that like to get into the semantics. They're not the same word, including compromise. Okay, but precisely these three words: trust, submission, and respect. They are reality. They are earned. Okay. Yes, if things are new, they may seem like they come up natural because you don't know each other yet. Remember, right? But you still earn it because it's new. You're creating some kind of in love experience, effect, affection in that person because they like the idea of being with you. They're attracted to you because it's fresh. You don't know each other yet. But as time goes on, those things that are earned is how you show up. Because if you look at the order, even from a biblical standpoint, your love, it gets reciprocated as respect. And love means a whole lot of other things. And I think men understand what that is to an extent, right? When a man is in love with you and he's showing out and he's showing, my experience as well is that women don't have a problem submitting. The reason why this become a problem is that we are going through some kind of crisis. When we're going through some kind of crisis, then it becomes, why are you talking at me like that? And the mistake that a lot of gentlemen will make is that you need to submit. They're trying to force submission, respect, and trust out of that person, right? Why trust? Because the person doesn't trust you enough to submit to whatever we have going on here, right?
Yeah.
So it's a full package thing, and yes, that's what men want: food, sex, and all this other thing. For what I found across board is that men want you to trust, submit, and respect. Where we
How can
miss
you,
it is that
somebody,
it's earned.
somebody asked in the comment section, how can you trust somebody that cheats?
That's
How
a
can you
good
trust a
question.
man that cheats?
That's a good question. Again, when somebody is cheating, there is an active crisis going on in that relationship, right? So naturally, you can't trust them. You're gonna have a hard time submitting to them. You can even pretend like you're submitting to them for a while, but eventually, the truth, right? Tiramba Lolo Gordon, the truth will come out, and the way it comes out is not always "I'm leaving." Sometimes that woman will stay there and make your life miserable in so
Right.
many different ways. You know,
Yeah, I want to move quickly away from this submission now because I feel like we can go on and on
submission will
about
take
it.
over.
We'll take over. No, I don't want that. We are talking about what men want. Uncle Tony was onto something there before we got into this issue of submission.
After
Uncle Tony,
Uncle
please.
Tony, right? I have
Mhm.
20 exhaustive list. I'll just mention them of what men want.
Right.
Yeah.
So are these like points?
Point. Just one word. One word. Each one of them. I'll just say them, and
Oh,
then
what
I'll let
happened to
people.
Uncle Tony's connection? Uncle
Uh
Tony is
oh.
disconnected.
What happened, Uncle Tony?
I don't know. Uncle Tony, please come back. Your
All right.
connection has just gone off.
I think I can go
Um,
through it in 20 seconds.
okay, go on then while we are waiting for Uncle Tony.
Right. And for those in the comments, you can list them out so you can, because I won't go through it again. I
So is
promise.
this what men want that you are listing out?
Yes, what men want. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
how they get it is a different topic. We can continue to discuss that, right?
Yeah.
One, confidence. Men still want a confident woman. Two, nice, kind, and considerate. Three,
Hold on,
appreciate.
hold on. We are taking notes. Hold on.
All
Nice,
right,
kind, and considerate.
and
Yeah.
considerate.
Yeah.
Three,
This is the
appreciative.
kind of woman that they want, right?
Yes, yes,
They want a confident woman. Are you
yes.
sure it's all men that want confident
Well,
women?
confidence is different from when you where we're playing tit for tat and we're competing with each other. Remember, we spoke about that earlier.
Yeah.
Confident is when you don't feel like you should sell me on the fact that you're confident. You don't even need to say it. I can just see it. It's a
Yeah.
way you exude it, right? It's an
Yeah.
energy, basically. Number three, appreciative. This is big. Number four, supportive. Five, communicator. Women
Hold on.
generally speak in the form of emotions. Sorry.
Supportive. And what was that one? After supportive, what do you have?
A communicator. So a communicator means you are able to use your words as opposed to, because women tend to go to Kotangora, go to Cambodia, to South Africa before. If you can speak your mind, that's a plus. It's
Yeah.
very rare. It's very rare,
Without
but it's a
anger.
plus.
Without
Yeah,
anger. Some of us, when we get angry, we speak,
yeah.
overspeak.
The emotions take over. Yeah, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Tony is back on. You give us the rest.
Six,
Mm-hmm.
desire for home and children. If you're the type of lady that you say, I don't want to have children, I don't have, an average man will not be interested. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just, again, just realize that an average man would not be attracted to that.
Okay.
Seven, fit and healthy. Don't fight me on this. This is general, okay?
Fit and healthy.
Fit and healthy. Fit doesn't mean you are slim size one, no, that's not what it means. But
Yeah.
fit and healthy, right?
Uh-huh.
Eight, feminine and friendly. Nine, intelligence. Yeah, believe it or not, men are attracted to
What does
intelligence.
feminine mean? What does that mean? That's such a broad
Feminine
word.
means you are feminine means you are able to receive without any problem. If you're forcing yourself that you must give into the relationship, that's plain masculine, and it tends to push masculine people away, or you will turn the man to feminine. It's a chaos. We can talk about that more later on.
Okay. What was
Yeah.
the word after friendly? Friendly?
Friendly, whatever
Yeah.
it means to you.
Yeah. After
Okay, all
that,
right, all right, all right. Nine, intelligence.
intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah. So men, and intelligence is not something you can control, but they find it attractive if you come off as intelligent.
Yeah.
Not that doesn't mean you're a smart ass. If you're a smart ass, that's not the same thing as intelligence.
Yeah.
Number 10, emotional stability. We talked about kind of that shortly, right? 11, maturity. 12, dependable or reliable. 13, integrity and faithful. Yes, even though men cheats, they like faithful and integrity, right? So the double standard, right?
Yeah. Go on.
Trustworthy. Number 14, trustworthy. Number 15, respect. Number 16, submission. Number 17, humility. Number 18, Ambition, yes. A lot of people like to push this rhetoric that men don't like ambitious women. Well, that's relative. They don't like when you're ambitious. They just want to like do it with you. Not that you're building three
Not all
houses
men
in
like
Lekki.
ambitious women, Ola. Not all men. It's only ambitious men that like ambitious women.
Well,
Some unambitious men, men that have no ambition don't like women with ambition.
I was elaborating something. If you're building three houses in Lekki and it's outside of that picture, that's not the ambition I'm talking about, right? So again, it depends. It just depends, right? We can
Yeah,
unpack that. Number 19, affection.
affection.
Not all men like that, by the way, but men like it too. 20, attraction. They like to be attracted to you. So again, that means so many things, but we just have to put that in one word, right?
Thank you so much, Ola. I hope you guys took notes. Some people are trying to. They say Ola came loaded.
I see.
He came prepared. He came with receipts. Hello, Uncle Tony, you're back.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am, I'm back here.
Uncle Tony, sorry, your connection went bad there.
They called me, and I thought it was gonna be 1 minute talk, and
Oh yeah, to
that
take
kind
it
of
out.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay. So you were on to something when we started. We're asking you what men want, and then you started off by telling us that what men want changes with time. And I feel like you still have more to say about that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank
And
you, sir.
I hope that whatever we are saying today will resonate with some people, and people will learn one or two things from this topic and take away and try to work on our individual relationships. Uh, Nobody is perfect. I am not perfect. And I believe that when a pastor is preaching in church, he's not only preaching to the congregation, he's also preaching to himself. I tell my
Absolutely.
children, when I'm telling you to do this and that, I'm also learning from what I'm telling you.
Right.
Okay? So, no, I'm not claiming to be an expert. Okay? But I've counseled a lot of people, young couples and older ones as well. And you can say only one thing, and that is the only thing that will save that marriage. Okay? And I hope that we're doing justice to this topic. I just want
Yeah.
people to have the open mind. We are not bashing the women, we are not bashing men. We're just being objective in the way things are. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to throw that one out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I want to say is this: men are spontaneous beings. We are very, very spontaneous. At the beginning of the marriage, a woman will take it. But as time goes by, women change. Oh, for instance, the smashing thing, a man can just come and see you cooking something and he wanted it right there in the kitchen. Most women will say no. Why do we have to do it in the kitchen? It's uncomfortable, is this and that. And men feel like every time I want to do it, you always give me all these kind of excuses. Why do we have to go to the bedroom to do it every time? It's
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah.
Men love changes.
Yeah.
Can you adapt yourself to that situation? Or if he doesn't do it in the bedroom, then you are done with him? It looks simple, but men are very sensitive at times. All those
Yeah.
little things goes a long way.
Yeah.
And men are visual animals. We are visual. When you are cutting each other or when you are dating, you used to look so gorgeous and show enough or whatever, whatever. Then the moment you got into the house, well, I don't care anymore who is looking at me anyway.
Yeah.
Now you are letting go. And the man is not happy with your letting go. You still want to see that young, vibrant, sexy lady that he married. Don't let
Yeah.
go of yourself. You have
Right.
to pick yourself up, even after
Right.
having your kids. Don't
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I'm too old now. Who else is looking at me?" Your husband is still looking at you, and he wants you to be the woman he married many years ago.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to touch one sensitive area. I'm
Mm-hmm.
experiencing it, and I know a lot of women, I mean, men out there are experiencing it.
Okay.
Shifting your love to your
Your
children
children.
over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't hear Sister Bridget because I know that you are saying something, but I can't hear you.
I'm
It looks
guilty
like
too. I'm
you are
guilty. I'm
muted.
guilty. I have
I
my
cannot
eyes on
hear you.
fire.
I still cannot hear you. I still
Ah.
cannot hear you. I'm sorry. If you can hear me, I can hear you. So don't please. I can't hear Brother Ola either. Why am I not hearing you guys?
I can
I
hear
don't
you.
know.
Can you hear
Okay.
me right now?
We're
Probably,
hearing you, Uncle Tony.
probably it's coming from me. So
It's
as long
from
as you
you.
guys
I
can
can hear
hear me,
you,
that's
Sha.
fine.
We
Do
can
not
hear you.
shift your
Yes.
Yes.
love away from your husband and give it to your husband, please.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. I could drive from Atlanta to New York. My wife is sitting down there. She's enjoying the ride. If it's her son that drives that car, oh, hello, my darling. Oh, honey, you're working so hard. Oh, that's good. Thank you very much, or whatever, whatever. The husband is not gonna get the compliment, but the son is getting the compliment, and men
Yeah.
get jealous.
Yeah.
And let's say it in Yoruba, "Pẹ̀lẹ́ ọkọ mi, ó ṣé ọkọ mi," whatever ọkọ mi.
Mhm.
They won't say that to the husband, but they will say it
Yeah.
to the boy.
In defense
So
of women, Uncle
I don't
Tony,
know if you can still hear me, but I cannot
we're
hear
hearing
you.
you, Uncle
I tried
Tony.
to use my to unmute
You may
my
have to
mic
drop
and
off and come back
everything
in.
here. I don't know why it's just not talking. Maybe I need to
Yeah.
just sign off and then
Yeah.
sign
Sign
back
off
in.
and come
Okay.
back in. Yeah.
So
Sign off
Yes.
and
that's
come
what I
back
will
in.
do right now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Should I continue going? Show me the
No. No.
hand,
No.
then
No.
I
Yes.
No.
continue going. Okay.
No.
So do
Okay.
not shift your love. Okay. Do not shift your love to, away from your husband and to your children, please. You know each other before the children came about. All right. So your children are the fruit of your marriage. Don't put the horse before the cart or cart before the horse, as the saying go. Okay. And now, another thing I put down is women take things for granted over the years. They take things for granted. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, look, you have the ring on it already. Now I can do whatever I really want to do. No, it doesn't work that way. Every day is a walk in our marriage. Since men are visual animals, what they see is what they go for, unfortunately. So when you let go and you say, oh, I don't care anymore, then you are losing that man gradually. Okay? Let me look at other things I put down here. I don't know. Well, men love a woman that can give him praise and approval. Praise and approval. Let him know when you are
Yeah.
Okay.
This connection is.
Uncle Tony, you have to disconnect and
you
connect back
still
again.
appreciate him, okay?
Maybe pin a
And
comment
give
for
him a
him to
pat
see.
on the back.
Pin a comment for him
Give
to
him a
see to drop
pat
off
on
and
the
come
back
back in.
from time to time
Let me,
and let him know. Once
let
a
me send
man
a
is
message.
get your praises and your approval, you just wait. You're gonna see more. He's gonna do more into the marriage, okay? And then you still need to have the sense of sexual connection with him, okay? You still have to. Oh, somebody says they can't hear me. Can you hear
Yeah,
me now?
we can hear
Can
you,
you give me
but
a
you
thumbs
can't
up if
hear.
you can hear me? Thumbs up. Okay, good. Okay, all right. Okay, I will disconnect and then connect back. All right, bye.
Yes, yes, please, Uncle Tony. I think you might need to leave that bathroom because reception in the bathroom is not always good.
Your audience are hilarious. Let me
They
just
are,
let me just say
they are,
to common sense sisters, I hail Luna. I've seen you guys in this room a lot. I hail all of you,
yeah,
and I
they
applaud you,
are my
ladies.
ADC.
Yeah,
They are my
and
ADC.
oh yeah, ADC. Okay, when I mentioned common sense earlier, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking in general. People try to apply common sense to relationship, and
Yeah,
it's problematic because common sense only usually comes from one person's perspective. And I can tell you that you're not like one thing I found earlier in our marriages. I would say you're not making sense, and that's a terrible thing to say to your wife. She may not be making sense. Usually now in this time and age, I take it as an opportunity to listen to her even a lot further. So
Uncle
that's what I was
Tony,
saying.
you're back on. Can you hear us now?
Now I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Uncle Tony, I
Awesome.
think you might have to move your destination where you are. You probably need to come out of that place because
Okay.
your internet. Yeah, is it possible
It's
for
not
you to go?
stable, right? It's not
Yeah,
stable,
it's
right?
not stable.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe you can go to any other part of the house
All right.
because I find
Okay.
that a lot of
I'm gonna do that
bathrooms
right now.
usually have poor network. Because we want to hear more. Yeah, okay. Ola,
Yes, ma'am.
you've given us these 20 things. 20.
I
And a lot
know.
of people in the comment section are like, where are you gonna see a woman that will have all this? Where are you gonna see a woman that will have all this? What about men? Auntie B, I hope you're gonna do women so
But the question was, what do men want?
you get 20. 20.
The question was, what do men want? So the explanation I gave in the comments is this: a lot of those are a lot of 3 and 5 in ones. A lot of
Some
those
people are
things
saying
come
that it's
together.
unrealistic. Where you that is
Yeah,
unrealistic.
and you know what? I agree 100% it's unrealistic, and that's why you will need a husband who is also reciprocating in one shape, form, or the other. Because if you pour from an empty cup, if you try to fulfill all of those needs, you will get drained. But it's also good to know them, just to be self-aware, to as some form of checklist, not to try to achieve all of them, but like for example, I made a fuss about the appreciative part. Men don't get a lot of it's a hard time to get thank you. And you can see that play out on Father's Day. Okay? So don't overthink it. Just take it as a list that you can get some insights from. Let me see. Maybe I missed.
Yeah.
If you achieve 3 of those things on that list, you're doing well, my sister.
So Uncle Tony mentioned one very powerful thing there. He has mentioned so many. I don't know, you ladies, are you listening to Uncle Tony and all that? He said something about how women shift their love from when they have children. They shift the love from their husband to the children, and a
They
lot of
do.
women are guilty of that.
They do.
Yes, yes. I raise my hand up for that too because I'm self-aware. I know, but I find that women who do that in most times because they are not getting the emotional connection or satisfaction from their spouse. That's why they shift that love to their children.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong, ladies? Ola,
My take on that is very simple. My take on that, and this is my advice to gentlemen, since we're now going, he already said it. It is true. It is a concern. I went through that myself, where the baby is in my bed. In all honest truth, I would like this baby out somewhere in the bathroom. But hey, don't take that too seriously, literally, okay? But but can you hear me? You can still hear me, right?
yeah, we're hearing you.
Okay, yeah. So, but the point is that we're not mothers. That's why we feel that way. We're not mothers, and I understand that mothers don't necessarily pay attention to that until you make it a point. So, I think personally, I think men should communicate that. Say, hey, babe, I would like this baby. I like you to. I like to spend some more time with you. I get it. You're a mother, right? I want women to be self-aware that that is a thing that affects men, that makes them feel unwanted. Nobody wants to feel unwanted. And men have been taught not to express too much emotion. So they don't, also when they express emotions, it causes lower attraction. It causes a woman to get defensive and come off as, get defensive because it comes off as an attack. It's like you're telling a woman that she's not enough the way she is in that moment in time. So number one, women should be aware that that is a thing that affects men emotionally. It's BS when men tell you they're not emotional. They are emotional. They just don't express it as much.
Okay.
Number two, men should also give that grace. Understand that they are mothers. And they will reciprocate. Women are storing that information. Like they know they're supposed to kind of show more affection. And if you point it out one time, leave it alone. They know you're storing it. When they do reciprocate, from my experience, they cover for it. They cover it and they multiply everything you give them. So if you give them that grace, they will multiply that as well.
Absolutely. Uncle Tony, are you good now?
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we can. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. So I wanted to touch more on what you said about how women shift the love to the children. And I wanted to ask you, why do you think that is so? No.
That's a very, very funny question. I think just because we are wired differently.
No, that's not the answer.
Well, let me say this.
That's not the answer.
Sorry, Auntie B, repeat the question.
Mommy.
The answer is, the question is, why do women shift the love when they have children? Why do they shift the love from the husband to the children?
That's what I said. The answer is because we are different beings. I think that is what most women are. It might
You
not be
need
all
to
of
ask.
them.
It's women that can answer it because we are the
It
one moving
might,
the love.
that's what I'm saying. Okay, let me give you an example. I tell my wife one day, I said, God forbid, if they have to tell me to choose between you and my children, I said, I will choose you because you and I were together before the children came about. It took us 5 years, for us to be alone together without these children.
Mm-hmm.
But as of this morning or when I asked her, I said, if you have to pick between me and your children, she doesn't even think about it twice. She said, I'm going to pick my children.
She will pick her children sharp, sharp.
So she said she's going to pick her children. So can you tell me why? I can tell you the reason why. Because she's a woman and she feels that she has more connection with her children than her husband. And I'm sure if you have to vote on that right now, 90% of the women will say they will pick their children over their
Yeah,
husband.
yeah. But did you ask her why she chose her children instead of you?
She can't give me any reason.
I will,
There's
I
no
will,
reason.
I will answer it because
Okay.
somebody had already answered it. Let me answer it.
Okay.
And I can answer on behalf of women.
Go ahead.
The reason why women shift their love to their children is because there's a disconnect in the emotions, in the love between the husband and herself. When a woman doesn't feel that love, because the love from children is unconditional. Your children love you unconditionally. So they just love you. Even if you beat a child just now, they'll still cry and say, oh, mommy, mommy. They'll still come and cry on your chest. And then you pet them, you beg them, and you carry on. But when
Because they need you to feed them.
no,
Once you
no,
are
no.
feeding them, you are giving them food, they have to come to you. Your husband can go out there and go get food. She might not even want your food. But
I don't
the
think so. I
children will.
disagree. I disagree with you. When that connection is not there, when I don't feel loved, and small things that happen, quarrels here and there that are unresolved, communication is not too good, things are building up and piling up, I just shift the love to my children. That is just it. Women, you're in the comment section. You look at the comment section, they all agree with
This
me. They
wasn't
all
about what
agree.
women want, though.
No, it's not about what. No, it's just another question. We will do what women want, but
All
just
right, all
about.
right, all right,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. Okay, let's go on.
I
Okay,
have an interesting answer to that real quick. I
okay.
don't disagree with both of you. I think both answers are absolutely correct. The truth is that the way men are wired, we don't connect with the kids like that. It's still connection, right? But we don't connect with the kids the way you connect with kids from a physical standpoint because you're the one breastfeeding them, but also from an emotional standpoint. We don't connect with the kids like that, and it's a fact of life because of many reasons. I go out to work and all this stuff. She spent most of the time with the kids on a typical basis, not always, but typically, right? But I agree with you. Yes, emotional connection. So there's an extra effort that a man needs to make in terms of emotional connection when there's babies involved. How do you make emotional connection? You're more understanding, you're listening. You kind of have to self-sacrifice a little bit at that point. Yes, I feel disconnected too, but I need to understand that this is a woman connecting with her. And if I say that, now that doesn't negate that you should communicate that, babe, I feel a little disconnected from you. This baby, you have to put them in the room sometimes. Like
Yeah.
communicate that, but don't force about that, because that will create more.
The day we are going to do about what women want, I hope you guys will be here, Uncle Tony and Ola, because I'm bringing Lola that day, hopefully, if she's available. Then you will hear. And then women will tell men, today is not about that.
What they
But
want.
yeah, we will tell men what we want. And I'm telling you categorically that the things that I was having this conversation with Uncle Tony. Uncle Tony was like, no, it's not like that. I say, people think that women, okay, I don't want to get carried away with what women want, but simple things like I love you. A lot of women don't even get that from their husband. I love
That's
you.
Rasmeno. Sorry.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Uncle Tony, are you there?
I'm still very much with you, man.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your wisdom. I've agreed with you on almost everything, but the last bit I didn't agree, but that's fine. We want to, I want to talk about the issue of 50-50. 50-50 marriages. A lot of people say that this is one of the fundamental issues why our marriages are problematic these days in the abroad, in the diaspora. 50-50. What do you think about that?
Why should that be a problem? Okay,
Ah,
let's go back uh, many years back when our mothers used to stay home. They used to take care of the children, and it's the father who has to go out there and fend for the family. The man will carry all the load 100%. Correct?
Hmm.
Now, we're in a modern era where both husband and wife work. Now, you want the man to pay the mortgage or the rent and pay for car insurance and pay for this and pay for that. What do you do with your money? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if I can afford it, I don't mind. But why could I'm not going to say 50-50. But
Okay.
what are you bringing to the table as a wife if your husband is the only one bringing all the money into the house and you are also working? Apart from probably buying food into the house, and sometimes the cost of the food is not as much.
Yeah.
And you are buying clothes for the children. Okay, I got it. How many times in a year are you buying clothes for for the kids? If you are bringing money into the house, I'm not saying it should be 50-50, but the responsibility is supposed to be shared one way or the other. Are you the one paying for the gas bill? Are you the one paying for the water bill? Are you the one paying for the electricity? Or what are you doing? Let the man take it 60-40, maybe 70-30.
Okay.
I'm not saying 50-50, but I think there must be a way to let everybody take some, responsibility in a home. Sorry to say this, with all due respect to women, your money is not only for your jewelry. It's not only for your bling bling. I'm sorry.
I'm
Your
sorry,
money,
why are you flogging
your
us like this
money,
now?
money.
You're
Sorry,
just
your
flogging
money
us
is not.
non-stop.
Your money is not only for Ashwebi. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
It's not for only, not for jewelry, not for shoes, not for Ashwebi. You have to contribute into the family business as well. And perhaps if you are the responsible wife, your husband doesn't need to even tell you that. It's something that you don't even speak about. Somebody just needs to pick it up and say, okay, I'm paying the gas bill, electricity, and water because the mortgage money is always the rent or the mortgage money is always more than anything else. And whoever is actually earning more in the family, it doesn't necessarily have to be the man. If you are earning more than your husband, I think you need to carry more than him. Don't
Okay.
expect him to, because men, we have the ego. We don't like to go to women and say, "Oh, mommy, can I please have a $50 there, or like a 50 pounds there?" It
Hmm.
doesn't take a woman a second to say, "Honey, I need $100 there. Can you give it to me?" And the
Yeah.
man will be like, "Okay, sure. I can write you a check, or I'll give you cash, whatever, whatever." It's easy for us. But it's not easy for a man to go to a woman to ask for money. Not
Right.
all men. So
Okay.
for that reason, the women should not only save their money for ashwebi and jewelry, they should also contribute to the house. I don't know how they're going to do it. It might not be 50-50, but whoever is earning more is supposed to pay more. Thank you.
So a lot of women in the comment section, they are disagreeing with you seriously. Some are saying Uncle Tony is right. Some are saying Uncle Tony, why are you talking like this? Like, okay, it's Bolaji that say you are right. Bolaji is a man. So the problem is that the women are saying, Uncle Tony, you are saying it should be shared. Women should not use their money for jewelries and HIB. They should contribute, which is okay. I don't think a lot of us are not unreasonable. I think more women who are reasonable are more than women. Well, I can't say all women are reasonable when it comes to finances and bringing money into the common purse, paying the bills and negotiating all that in the family. But this is the thing that is always the problem. When a Nigerian man, an African man, say you have to contribute 40-50, 30-70, 60-40, or whatever the contribution is, then what happens to the other side that you are leaving for the woman as well? Are you also contributing when it comes to house chores? Because a lot of African men will not do any chores. They won't do any cleaning, laundry, cooking, caring for the children. But then how is it balanced? How is it balanced? This is what they're asking.
All right, let me speak to this. Uh, I don't agree with Uncle Tony. I don't, and here's why, and I will explain it. Right, from a standpoint of common sense, I agree with him 100%. But these issues don't end up. They don't end up at common sense because I have my own common sense, what I consider common sense, and my spouse has her own common sense. And what creates arguments a lot of time is because we're just being two humans with two different outlooks on certain things, right? We're talking about a romantic partner precisely. If we're talking about a business partner, you're absolutely right. We should predefine 50-50. And gentlemen, women are not the right people you want to listen to on this advice either. Because there's a lot of women in the house that actually agree because they're also coming from common sense, from a place of common sense. A lot of women these days are, like you were saying, Sister B, a lot of women are considerate. They know how much we make. They know they're supposed to contribute. In fact, they will contribute. Here's where the problem comes in when you're dealing with African men or traditional men, to be precise.
Yeah.
In one breath, you're asking to be the leader. In the other breath, you're asking to be 50-50. You have to pick one. You can't play both. That creates chaos in people's, especially the ladies' mind. It's confusing. You
Right.
have to pick both. So in my own opinion, the way I would approach that is that I make sure I show up with my 100% as a man first. And not just financially, not just in terms of providing financially, also emotionally. And this is the difficult part. This is extremely difficult for an average human being to show up emotionally because I get caught up in my own emotions too, right? So it takes a lot of work, self-work, to get into a place where I say a woman, my lady, is a lady who is dealing with a lot, like you rightfully said: pregnancy, hormonal changes, the nature of a woman, the fact that she's naturally a nurturer in so many ways emotionally, bringing so much into the relationship emotionally. I need to be self-aware about that. Then the other part where I can play very well, the common sense part, the logical part, right? I need
Yeah.
to make sure I'm showing up 100% there. And if you do that, most women will push back and say, no, let me help. No, I make a little bit more money. Let me help. And that's where you want to be. You want to make sure that it's either you choose 50-50 or 100. You want to make sure it's, ideally, you want to make sure it's our idea. If it's not our idea, it doesn't matter if you're 50-50, 20-20, 90-40. It will create chaos. What you're looking for is unity from an emotional standpoint. She needs to feel right about this idea. She will feel terrible if you're paying 100% all the time and she's making more. If you're feeding the relationship emotionally above an average man. That's what I have to say to that.
Right. Okay. So a lot of women in the comment section are saying that they are arguing that a lot of relationships or marriages are being carried by women, of which people might not know. But this is the thing that you can't say, just like you said, Ola, you can't say you are the head and then you are saying because you earn more as a woman, you should pay more. Because if you say a woman should pay more, then you've lost your position, whether you like it or not. You've lost your position,
Auntie
especially,
Bridget, Auntie Bridget,
sir.
I need to interject a little bit here.
Okay.
If you both, husband and wife, if you sit down and you
Mm-hmm.
have to do the budget of how much is your family budget for the whole month, how much is the rent, how much is the gas bill, electricity bill, water bill, insurance, housekeeping, and all those stuff. Let's put it
Yeah.
down. Let's go into uh, expense analysis. How much do we spend in a month? Let everybody put it down. Now,
Mm-hmm.
let the husband be transparent enough to say, okay, this is my take home. Let the woman also say, this is my take home. Let let both parties be transparent. I think without telling anybody anything,
Yeah.
let the man say, okay, I'm leaving everything. Whatever that is left to you as a woman, chip it in. So I think from there, everybody will get the clear picture. So if the
Okay.
woman is earning more than the husband, and the husband say, okay, this is all I have. Do you think? I mean, don't you think that woman will pay more
I
to
think
for the upkeep of the house? You don't think
Again,
so?
Tony, you're making sense. It's not like you're not making sense. I'm adding additional variables here. We're talking about emotional relationship. You can make all the sense as we are concerned here, right? You're absolutely correct and right. But that creates a woman who is losing respect for you. You've got an effective
exactly.
problem.
Exactly.
So you are.
If your woman is earning more than you, you've got work to do as a man. That's the way I see it. You've got work to do because it is not sustainable for a woman to lead when it comes to finances in a relationship. If you give up your position as a man, as the husband and the head of that family to a woman to lead, then you've given up your role. You've given up your headship.
We
You're
have to go
not
to
that
the.
you're not
We
you are
have to go to the root cause of this. Five fingers are not equal. Some women could be much financially stable than the man, and the man probably is in the process of trying to bring himself up to a certain level. But meanwhile, while he's still doing that, let the woman give the support as much as she can. As
I
much, I
agree with
mean,
that.
as long as the woman, I mean, excuse me, as long as the man is is not just sleeping and say, well, you are
Exactly.
the one who's gonna do this, you're the one who's gonna do that, and because generally speaking, with all due respect, I've said it over and over again, women's money is always their money, and men's money are always
No,
our money.
not necessarily.
All right,
But what
okay.
you said now, you see, it's changed a little bit, Uncle Tony. Now you are saying that if the man is in a process, this is not the lifestyle. This is not how it's going to be. He is doing something. For instance, he's gone back to school. He's working part time or whatever, and this is just for a period. Any reasonable woman would not mind. But when it becomes, oh, Shebi, you are the one that is the nurse, so you pay all that. I'm only earning this, so you earn more than me. What are you doing when I'm earning more than you? What are you doing with yourself? It means you're not pushing yourself. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing because I'm the one that is taking care of the children. I've got the responsibility of looking after the house, cooking, cleaning, doing all these things. And if I can still push myself to make sure that I've advanced myself, what is your excuse?
Yeah, a lady, I think it's Timmy T. She just said, yeah, there are women who are leaders in society. They are doctors and things like that. If you, as a man, bring spreadsheets to the table and say, "Wife, let's work this out," right? I want you to pray to God to give you a wife who is also logical in that sense, who will make sense out of that. Like, yes, of course, that makes sense, right? I want you to pray for that. But even those type of people, right? There are sometimes they're still a lady, right? She knows you're correct and you're right, even though you brought the spreadsheet. It makes sense, but she doesn't feel right. Something is throwing her off from an emotional standpoint. She's feeling like like, why would a man say this kind of thing? And where she's talking from is from an emotional standpoint, right? Or in that moment in time, it actually makes sense to her that we should work on this spreadsheet. But eventually, the way she shows up, this is the other side of it. The way she shows up and she's accurate like that, she's gonna show up in other ways like that too. Meaning she will be in a masculine a lot of times that is not necessarily palatable to you as a man, and then you feel like you're not attracted to as well. So I'm not saying one way is correct or the other. I'm saying be aware there are other variables, emotions, feminine, masculine energy involved in this, and this is where common sense falls short when you're talking about romantic relationship. And I think as a man, it's your responsibility to also lead in this aspect and be aware that that energy will play a role. And if you get defensive, you will, whatever you give a woman, she'll multiply. You give her hell, she will give you hellfire, and she will not be able to explain herself either because, again, she's a woman. She won't understand why she's even acting up. It
Yeah.
happens all the time to good people.
And this issue of house chores keep coming up. You have not addressed it. Ola and Uncle Tony. My comment section is on fire with this house chores. Women feel like traditionally African men don't do house chores. They don't do cooking. They don't do this. And everybody is talking about it because it's a big problem. There was a video that I did a few days ago, and this lady came and shared her experience, how her marriage broke down, and the sort of relationship she had with her husband. And people were shocked. Most of the issues were just simple issues like food, cooking, pregnancy, she's not able to cook. The man is not, is not, helping. Little things like that. But little things like that, as little as they are, can lead to a marriage failure because they pile up over time. So
I'll tell you when it leads to that. It's the same topic we're still having right now. I don't have that problem because I, with the support of my wife, so not just I pay the bills. I worry about how money is going to come into this house. I don't have that problem. Does that mean I don't help in the kitchen? Absolutely not. I help as much as I can. I do as much as I can. But by default, because I worry about how all the money comes in, and that's how I like it, and that's how she also likes it, this is what we agree to, I don't have that problem where she say I'm the one that cook all the time. I don't have that problem. So in order to really address this, if you're having this issue, number one, seek therapy because your particular situation is different from the next person, 7 billion other people. You need to unpack it. It's not just one size fits all. So don't take mine and run with it and go to your husband and say, you must pay the bill. So no, don't do that. You need to talk to therapy because everyone is different from people to people. Oreo Jory.
Uncle Tony, what do you have to say, please? Uncle Tony, are you there?
We're not hearing you, sir, just so you know.
Can you hear me?
Oh, it's in the matrix. Connection is bad.
It's bad again.
Can you hear me now? The problem is your camera issue. Can you hear me?
You're in the matrix. The connection is bad.
Oh, it's gone again. Okay. So this issue of house chores, is this, let me ask you this before Uncle Tony comes back, Ola. This arrangement that you have with your wife, I know that, it's not one size fits all. Like you said, this is your own arrangement. This is what you agreed with your wife. But is it because your children are young or this works better for you, or this is just something that, you decided that you're going to do, even when your children are older, that you're going to be the one that is working and providing. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, to put some more perspective on it, earlier on, we've been married for 14 years in August. Earlier on, it wasn't like that. We had problems because she couldn't express herself. Remember what I said, one of the lists, I said communicator, right? Nobody has it all. So my wife, neither do I, have any complete list, right? She's not, quote unquote, communicate from a logical standpoint. She's a typical woman. Emotions. She has to go to all these different places before she get to the point, and she still didn't get to the point, right? So that is, you can call it a weakness or strength thing. It's a matter of a weakness or strength thing in your situation, right? You have some people have certain strength, some people have certain weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
And you need to identify what your strength and your weaknesses are, and you need to play that with respect to masculine and feminine energy, because society is a real thing. This masculine feminine thing is a real thing that is not necessarily within the context of feminine and masculine energy. You need to make sure you're operating from a place of strength and weakness. So it wasn't something that we sat down one day and we designed it and we have arrangements. It was basically going through experiences, basically her asking for divorce at the 9 years mark, and then eventually we had to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I read something when I was looking you up. I wanted to check your website, and then there was something I read on your YouTube where you said that your marriage was basically dead, and you guys almost, left it. Then you came back again. Can you tell us what happened? I don't want you to tell us the whole story because of time, but
Yes.
what are you guys doing differently now that you weren't doing prior to that, while you were having problems? Because
Yeah,
you
if you want the full story, just go to lolaanola.com and download the book for free. Now, what happened is very simple. It's what
Lola
happens.
Ola, download the
.com.
book for free.com. Okay, let
Yes.
me put it there.
So what happened was we were human, okay? We are good people who meant well. We went to the altar at the age of 27 and 26. We said, I do, without knowing what we were doing. Like 99% of everyone who does that. That's what happened. How mine played out was a function of some stories here and there. But one thing I can tell you, she will speak to her own when she comes on the platform later. One thing I can agree to is that I was definitely oblivious to a lot of things. I became complacent. She became my Omi because she's truly my best friend.
Right.
So she became the Omi. So I lost sight of the fact that this is my lady. I needed to maintain some kind of romance, right? So I
Okay.
lost focus because when somebody becomes your friend, anything in life can be bastardized. Any good
Yeah.
thing, including water, right?
Yeah.
So she's the homie. She became the homie. We talk. So anytime when she's talking and we get into this toxic argument, I thought I was debating with the homie. But
Yeah.
then there's a woman who is building resentment. There were also other external factors in life and all these other things that we can decide to blame. What I found is that I had to look in the mirror. Yes, there are environmental factors. There's storm over here. There's hurricane over there. But what role am I playing to make sure that my relationship is safe? And that's I have to generalize it like that because there's no time.
Did you
But
cheat?
there was emotional cheating everywhere. Like people, when people don't feel comfortable on both sides, you start having conversation with people on the outside because again, emotions has nothing to do with your core values when you're feeling drained emotionally. So at the 5 years mark when I started to feel drained, I didn't realize it was. I normalized it. I said, "Oh, this is how it is in marriage. Let me just do what men do, right?" And we start to normalize certain things because we also grew up with that. Then I start to have text message. I just talk to people, and then you have inappropriate comments here and there. Anything you know that your partner will not like if they see it, it doesn't have to be you slept with them.
Yeah.
Now it's create an illusion. If your partner comes across it, they will create a Nollywood movie in their head, and the Nollywood movie is the worst case scenario. So that
Yeah.
means you've slept with 2,000 people already,
Hmm.
right? That's the way it plays out in this thing. So we spoke into more details, and she narrated her own story. I narrated my own story in the book.
Did
And
you have marriage counseling?
do we do counseling? We do coaching. We don't do counseling.
Did you have marriage counseling to get
Oh,
back together?
yeah. But majority of the marriage counseling did not work for us. It came off again. Some of these things it came off as manipulative on the other person. The only thing that worked for us is the one person worked on themselves, and that created attraction over time. Meaning, this is the person I want, and nobody else is better out there anyway because everyone sucks out there. Everyone is trash. Let's be honest. Everyone has their own trauma they bring to the table. Every single person. And even if you say, I see people, some of our clients sometimes will say, "Oh yeah, I don't do that in my family. We come from a good family." I said, "That's your problem because your outlook on life is that you're perfect."
Yeah, people are still on this house chores matter. I feel like they are not satisfied with the answer that was
My
given.
answer, they want me
No,
to do
no,
more housework.
they wanted Uncle Tony to talk about it because he was the one that was saying that your money is not your money. That
Right,
the finances should be on a spreadsheet, and you should agree on who is bringing more, especially if the woman
right.
is earning more, which is okay. Women wants to contribute, but are men ready to contribute with housework? No, no, I'm not talking about you specifically now, Ola. You
I get
work,
it.
your
I get it.
arrangement is different. We are talking about the average household of African couples in the diaspora is both adults in the family work, and you've got children. You have chores. You have
Right,
a house, or you have
right.
a flat, or whatever. How can you expect women to bring their own to the table while the man is not bringing his own contribution to the house job?
It's a valid
Women are
question.
particular about it. Women
It's a
are
it's a it's a
particular
it's a it's
about
a,
it.
va- it's a valid question, and the answer to it, since we're speaking to the ladies in the house, so we can get some value out of this. If you're in a space where your man is playing this game that we must pay 50-50, while you continue to do the outsource and cook and all this stuff, if you're in that space, I said something earlier, and I don't want you to take it as an attack. You have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, how am I enabling this? It doesn't mean the other person is not guilty of whatever character flaws you want to blame them for. I understand. The easy thing is to go in the direction of blaming them from a character flaw standpoint. Lack of integrity. He's just a useless man. But you can do that's the easy thing for anyone to do. But you are in that equation. You helped create that situation. And
Yes.
guess what? Since you're complaining, you have the biggest leverage, you have the largest leverage. What can you do to stop this behavior?
You can't
Number
force him
one,
to wash to do dishes. You can't force him to
you
hoover.
can you
He
can
will
only do
tell you,
what you
my
can
father
do.
never hoover. My father never cleaned the house for my. How do you expect me? Okay, we both went to work. We are back now. And I'm in the kitchen trying to sort the children out because our children are older. They are not babies anymore.
Yeah,
And the only thing they can probably do is cook. And those are the ones that are left at home. And I'm busy trying to get the children dinner and trying to do this, make sure the laundry is done. And he's in the sitting room with remote control,
yeah,
flipping
yeah,
from one channel to the
yeah,
other. And yeah, I'm expected to cook the food and come and serve him. But we
yeah.
both went to work.
Let me
How
be
do you
clear.
think
Let
that
me be
resentment?
clear.
Ola,
Let me
how
be
do you
clear
think
about
that
something.
resentment will not build in that
It
woman's
will.
mind?
It will for a fact. And it's worse. Let me be clear about something. Anything I say is easier said than done. You know why? Because a healthy marriage is a beautiful thing. So, yes, it's going to take some effort that is very difficult on your end. One case in point, somebody just said something to that. It is difficult for a woman because of the fear of the unknown to pull the plug. Some men will say, oh, so you should use sex to punish him. I'm not saying that. You really should not be having sex if you don't feel like having sex. Let's start with that. Okay? If you don't feel like having sex, you should not be having sex. And it's very easy for a woman not to feel like having sex if she's building all this resentment. You see what I'm saying? So, am I saying you should punish? No, it's not punishment if you don't feel like doing it. If you don't feel like cooking at the end of the night, it's extremely difficult. It's already difficult for a woman because she was raised to, these things are duties, right? They're
Yeah.
supposed to be duties. She was raised with that. And that's already extremely difficult. So to advise or to suggest that she should pull those plugs, I agree 100% is difficult. But you need to ask yourself a question. Which one is much more difficult? You're living with this resentment for the next 15 years, or pulling the plug so you can pay attention and understand that you need help. It doesn't have to be the one doing the chores. If I can't do the chores because it's not something I enjoy, I pay people to get the chores done.
Simple.
Oh, you
It's
can't
so
afford
simple.
it. Oh, again, that's another problem. You can't afford it, but you can't. That again, we can start piling up all of these problems. It's a matter of trade-off choices because you're in a relationship. What is the value that he's getting from you as a wife? Whatever that value that he's getting from you, you have a few choices. He's gonna keep getting those value, right? And you're gonna keep suffering. But eventually, what's gonna happen is that you're pouring from an empty cup. You will get drained, and you will give up. And the way people give up, I'm sorry to say, okay, is that they'll find, or some people will lose their mind, or some people wait until last minute before they get to a place where they said, I need a divorce, right? Don't wait until that. Express yourself. If it's getting some kind of value, say, I do this thing every day. I know you enjoy it, and I want to keep doing it, but I need help. I need
Let
help.
me see. I've got you. You have a question for Ola.
Hello, Sister V.
Hello,
Yeah,
sweet.
hello everybody.
Hi,
Yeah,
Timothy.
yeah. So Mr. Ola, yeah, probably you seen my comments in this section. Yeah,
Yes, I do.
yeah. So I've been married. It's gonna be 10 years in October. All right. So I think I just wanted to ask. I think about the cheating thing. Kind of like just went around it. So I understand. yeah, yeah.
I
I know
got
it's a
you.
You guys
difficult
want to,
question.
you just want to, you guys leave Ola alone.
Yes. So it's not like I'm trying to hammer on the submission thing,
Fine, that's fine.
but I think that most African men, especially Nigerian men, still want that form of that thing about that submission. And I remember a senior auntie like that who was my senior back then would be like, you just have to calm down. You just have to know how to be the first person to say sorry. Sometimes you don't have to push every time and all that, which I agree. Definitely, relationship is a give and take thing. But my issue now is that Uncle Tony made a statement about a woman being ambitious, more ambitious than the husband. In your opinion, how do you think that most Nigerian men would actually cope with this? Having a woman that's more ambitious, that of course would make more money. That's really happening.
Yes.
It's happening more than you think. You understand? So how can we really, I don't know how to put it to like prepare Nigerian men or African men to be able to
for the
really cope?
20th
Because I
century
don't
woman.
think we're hitting that question. We just kind of, how can they prepare them to mentally to cope with an ambitious woman or a woman that earns more? Thank you.
All right, awesome. That's a good question. Um, I, so preparing people for marriage and relationship in generally, for the most part, I think it's an oxymoron. All right, because people don't even, if you listen to what I said earlier, they don't even know themselves until they've been in marriage relationship for a while, because that's when some of the triggers are going to happen, because the person that you love romantically are going to trigger certain things because you allow them into a space in your heart that not even your parents has ever accessed, right? So when we're talking about preparing, I want you to always go from a standpoint of learning how to handle crisis and conflict. That's all you can learn in terms of preparation, because those things will inevitably happen. Okay. Now to the question itself, if you're an ambitious person and and you've attracted somebody that's not as ambitious, okay,
Mm.
remember what I said. Whoever is complaining or asking the question has the most leverage. I cannot address a person that's not asking the question. I'm going to assume your man, not you particularly in Temi, but anybody who is experiencing it, I'm going to assume that they don't see the fact that they are not ambitious as a problem.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But that gives you leverage, right? Because you want to come into a relationship uh, agreeing that this is the person I attracted. There's something that I love about this person. And you want to stay focused on that. Okay. Now, if they turn around and they start making you the guilty one because you are ambitious, right? The same thing about cheating applies here, right? If you're going to frustrate my life because I want more, right? We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk no more than 3 times, because if I'm talking more than 3 times, chances are verbal communication is not working. I'm going to tell you that you're frustrating my life, and this thing that I do, that I bring into this relationship, I will have a hard time bringing it. I won't be in love with you. I'm feeling like I'm falling out of love with you. I'm losing respect for you if you keep frustrating my life because I want to have a master's degree. Oh, he says, but you're not going to get to cook. You're not going
I
to.
don't want you to work.
I don't want you to work.
Some men that don't want their wife to work.
Well, there are also the other side of it. If you've never said you wanted to work, but suddenly you wanted to work, right? You need to be patient with him because he never subscribed to that. Again, you have the leverage. How you communicate that, hey, babe, I don't feel fulfilled. I would like to go out there and do some work. My wife comes to me sometimes with that. You know what I do? This is where your man should be. This is the space it should be. What I do is like, yeah, you want to do that? Yeah, let's see about that. Let's see about like part time, like some. What do you want to do exactly? We'll sort it out, babe. Let me see what you come up with. That's where the conversations will look like. That's how to
Not just
be
shutting it down. Not just
shutting it
shutting her
down.
down.
If a man is shutting it down, that is insecurity traits. He's feeling like he's losing you. Also, you still need to be patient. There's nothing wrong with the fact that he has insecurity traits. Because again, remember, you're also a culprit. You married him.
You
Right?
married him.
Right.
You married him. Say that again. You married him. And that's where a lot of us are. You married him. Women, we married.
Right.
Yeah.
So you cannot blame, you play the blame game, condemnation, judgment, guilt. It will backfire 100% of the time because he will feel attacked and he will defend himself. In other words, you have an effective argument and toxic vibe in the house all the time. So how you show up, seduction, something we don't like to talk about. Seduction is key in all of this. And seduction doesn't always mean sex. I'm talking about seducing him with your words. How you communicate with him that this is what I would like can play a big role in that. Why? Because you're the one complaining. You have the biggest leverage in all of this.
All right. Does that answer your question, Temiti?
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much, Mr. Just the rider, please.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go other people if you can. Yeah, just
just a
quickly.
quick one. Yeah. So this, just like what you said, that probably your wife, she's saying she's feeling down, she thinks that she wants to do something more, and then you say, okay, could you do this part time and all that? The pressure is not so much on you to bring her on board, but as a woman, the pressure is on us to kind of like always pull the man on board, like always pull into something, even maybe not up to your level, but something close. So you're always under pressure, trying to pull and pull towards that. Okay, yeah, I want to go farther, then I'm gonna have to pull you. So how do we deal with that?
Yeah, I wouldn't pull people into my level of ambition, because that's
Mm-hmm.
your idea of ambition. I
Yeah,
wouldn't even bother them about that. Whatever
I
they
agree.
bring to the
Yeah,
table,
because they'll
unless it's
resent
just
it
lazy,
eventually. Yeah,
right?
they'll
If he
resent it eventually.
he will
Yeah,
resent you. You're not gonna like
yeah,
it. You know,
yeah,
it's best that
mhm,
whatever it is that you want, you go after it, and all you need to ask him for is his support, because you
yeah,
need that. Don't
yeah,
ask him to become an entrepreneur like you. Don't do it. It backfires, and vice
yeah,
versa. It
yeah,
doesn't work. My wife is not the entrepreneur type, uh, but you give her what to do like that, she gets it done. So typically, she will be she will operate better in a job setting where there are
yeah,
clearly stated out tasks. Everyone is not entrepreneurship, and if he's telling you with his action, not his words, like sometimes even men will say, "No, I'm an entrepreneur like you," and he's showing up differently. His actions. You need to believe the action more
It
than
is
the
not
words.
a woman's duty to raise a grown man. It is not your duty to pull him. You can encourage, you can suggest, but if he's the kind of person that is receptive, fine. If they are not, just
Leave it
leave it.
alone.
Leave it.
Just
Yeah,
enjoy what you like about him, and
yeah.
focus on that, because that
I
does expand too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and if
thank
you're
you
not
so
married
much.
yet, yeah, then it's good. You shouldn't marry that kind of a person because it might become a problem. But if you're already married, what can you do? What can
Enjoy
you do?
it. Well, Anil Anguilla Rugge.
Enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Enjoy it. This ambition thing is a problem. Oh, I'm telling you. Abby, I've got you. Hello, Abby.
Hi, Auntie Bray.
Hi. What question do you have for Ola or myself?
No, I don't have a question. I just want to make a little contribution.
Okay.
Like, what do men want? Like, it's not a one size fits all. Like,
Okay.
different people want different things, and from my own perspective, I think, like, let me use myself as an example. When I went into my own marriage, I
Are
kind of
you
went
sorry,
in
Abby?
there.
I couldn't tell if you're male or female.
I'm female.
You're female. Sorry about
I
that.
hear
I
woman
just
voice,
want to.
so Auntie
I
B.
just. Eh?
I hear
No, I
woman
just
voice.
wanted to be sure. Because we are talking about what women and what men want, so I
Right,
want to
right,
be
What
right.
men
sure.
want, yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, I want to flip it like me when I went into the relationship,
Yeah.
because what I needed was, the only thing in my mind was, I want someone I can learn from. I don't
Right.
want someone I have to teach. I don't have
Okay.
the patience for that. And
Right.
luckily for me, the one I went for was this type of very ambitious man. Like, when you say men are ambitious, these ones are the ones that aim for more than the sky.
Right.
At the beginning, I have this thing in me, like, I'm dormant, like, I need someone to wake me up and I'll start following you, like, fast forward. So
Yeah.
I think he needed a woman that would support his dreams, that would support his going up. Like, he's a very fast paced someone, and I had to follow as well. So I have been in this marriage for going to 19, 20 years now. And of course, there were up and down. I had to learn. I didn't know everything he wanted, you know. But I started to see, after so many mistakes and everything, oh, he's interested in this, Then I developed interest in it so that I can have a discussion with him when we are talking about it, So it's so many things like that. Just like what they say, you have to compromise sometimes and kind of bring your own what you want and what the man wants, and kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
But if you keep thinking, oh, it's only his dream, it's only his when you start thinking it's only his dream, that's where you get it wrong. It's his dream. Why not? You chose him, like you just said, you chose him. Why not make it part of your own dream? You can build around his dream as well and make it start to one dream, like, he wants this and you want it, then merge it together and see how it goes. It always goes well anyway. So and when it comes to the house chores and all of that, what I discovered was that, African men, all of us, we know, most of them, they teach them to do housework and all of that, and they bring that into the marriage as well. So what I kind of work around it was that me, I can't kill myself. The one I can do, yes, auntie, the one I can do, I will do and leave the rest. If he see for ground, he say be cleaner, and it became fall. Now both of us go there inside. Me go run, you go run. So at the end of the day, he will use his sense now and clean the floor next time, because me, if I can't clean it, I won't clean it now.
Some men like very clean house. Some men like very, very clean house, but they know they
let him clean it.
They know they use their hand to clean nothing. And if
then he doesn't need a clean house.
They will start shouting. No. The house is not clean.
That's when auntie, that one an immature man. If you need a clean house and your woman can only do half of the cleaning, you do the remaining half. If you can't do it, then pay someone to do it, or let's stay inside together. After all, you be human being. I be human being. Why will you expect me to do all the work? You want to kill me? I didn't sign up for that. And the thing is, when you are going into this relationship of a team, both people should watch each other. Nobody is perfect. Nobody. Make some excuses for each other as well. If you are expecting 100% from this one, expecting 100% from that one, it won't work. It will never work. Sometimes you just have to overlook some things and just move on. After all, what did they drag for the life in the first place? I don't know. So at least, and that submission thing, that thing they pay me for auntie. I won't lie.
Why now, Abby?
Why?
It shock me. It shock me because you don't demand submission from a woman. No. Your behavior. One thing I learned is if you treat a woman nice, like Ogola just said, whatever you give to a woman, she will multiply it for you. Me, I dey tell my God this one all the way. Say, me, I be woman. Whatever you give me, I will multiply for you. If you give me love, I will multiply it. If you give me bad attitude, I will multiply it. You will faint. You understand?
So you saying like submission because some men demand it. It should be earned.
Yeah, I don't like it. It should be earned. Yeah. Why are you demanding it? Okay, meaning to say, it's like you telling me now when you can't toast me. Normally, I'm a toast woman. When you can't toast me, you fear will let you tell me, say, I can't toast you now. You have to be submissive to me. She will agree. Not be play. I love you. I do this. I will buy this for you. I will buy that for you. Not being woman say they agree. So as you enter the relationship as well, you have to pet woman. You have to be. You have to act like a normal human being with common sense. You understand? You have to know where to touch that woman. That submission where you define, say she go give you, you go overflow. You say you go detire, say, you don't do. You don't demand submission. You actually earn it, So thank you very much, Auntie.
Yeah, take care, sweetie. Thank you. Bye.
My outlook on submission in one sentence. Yeah, my outlook is this: a woman that I like, that has fallen for me, she doesn't get to decide if she wants to submit or not. I decide that, and it's how I show up. It's how I show up in the relationship. The women don't just sit down there and say, I'm going to submit, I'm not going to submit. It doesn't work like that. When you start to think that way.
Ola, do you know that some men in Nigeria go as far as thinking that because of that submission, every woman on the streets should submit to them, whether they are in a relationship with them or not. They'll say, don't you know?
Yeah, they do. That's the practice in Nigeria.
Yeah, don't you know me, man? You're supposed to submit to me.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
So lock only. So lock only with the
So lock only. Best love. Ola is tired. I have to let him go soon. Okay. I'm not going to take more than 2 callers now because
thank you so much. I have 3 questions, please.
Okay.
One, I want to know why before marriage, a man takes care of the lady during courtship. He can take you to the moon and back. He does everything. But once you get married, he's still on the same job, still makes the same money. But once the lady comes into the home, everything turns around. He does not take care, nothing. That's why. That's my first question. Secondly, I want to know what to do about this. As a wife, you have children who are supposed to be in the daycare. And here in the US, for you to have 3 kids in the daycare, you have to pay as much as 750 in a week dollars. Then check it in a month. That is something else. So you as a wife, you decide that okay, I'm gonna look after the kids in the morning and go to work at night. You decide to take the night shifts. This is how you decided to do it. But and you say, okay, hobby, we'll do it like this. Just pay the bills, the rent and other bills. I take care of food. I take care of the food and the children. I just take care of the children. Anything that has to do with the children, I take care of that. And it surprises you that end of the month, hobby still asks you for support. He still wants you to do this, and he's not giving you any money, but he
Yes.
still wants you to
What's
support.
the question? What's your question in that?
I want to know what should a woman do concerning this? Should I be giving hobby that money that he requests for? Since he's not
Okay.
really he's paying the rent, but you as a woman, I already think I'm already saving him much. 750 a week in a month. If we should check it, is around 3,000. I'm already saving him that. So why is he still requesting? After the month, requesting for you to support.
Requesting that you pay more bills.
Yeah. She's
Yeah, that
paying
I
she said
support
she's
him.
paying
We pay the
daycare.
same rent.
She's paying daycare.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I
he's
know. I know all
asking.
about that. Yeah.
I decide to stay at home in the morning and watch the children to
Yeah.
avoid us paying the 3,000. I decide to take care of children and work. Thank God for America that you can do shifts work and work at night.
Let me
So
ask you a question first, love.
let me ask the third one, can I?
Okay.
Let him
All right.
answer
Go
this
ahead.
one first.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Finish your question.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
As a married man with children and a wife, whenever your wife asks you for something for her children and herself, you are like, be patient, wait. At times you don't even do it, but you take care of your family back home. You take care of them with millions,
That comes up very quick, frequently. Yeah.
with millions, much
Yeah.
money, and you
Yeah.
want your wife to be patient. So in
Yeah.
this condition, to me, I feel a wife feel like she's not part of the family. You don't see her as part of the family. So
Yeah.
now tell me, how can she do these 20 things that you told us to do?
That was gonna be my question. You just answered the question I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask you, how does that make you feel? It's very important that you identify how that makes you feel. And I agree with you. I hear that way too common. I hear it more. How do you say that? It's a common thing, right? That it makes you feel like you are not part of the family. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Now, what should you do? Right? Then
Yeah.
we will have you remind us of your first question. What should you do in this situation is to express how you feel to him up to 3 times. Okay? Your feelings carries the weight of everything as far as the peace in the household is concerned. If you're not the talkative that will nag him and curse him out, you're probably shut off. You probably will say no to sex more often than not. You're draining the relationship regardless too as well, because you're feeling this feeling that's extremely toxic. So you need to speak it out once up to 3 times. After 3 times, chances are verbal communication is not working. You need to seek therapy. When I say seek therapy, it doesn't have to be with him. Start with you. Start with you. There's something about you that's attracting this situation. And I know you identified just this one issue, but there's a good chance that this same behavior, both on your part and his part, is spreading across board in your relationship in general. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So seek therapy, unpack this whole thing, and you may find that they will help you unpack even more issues so that you'll be able to speak from a place of confidence and in a loving way to your husband in a way that he can start to hear you, right?
Okay.
It's not a matter of you're guilty. It's not right and wrong. We've all been there. Everyone will go through this. Everyone.
Okay. Okay. I just
The
want to tell
first
you
one.
something. Okay, the first one is, why is it that men take care of you before marriage, but after marriage they just stop all of
Oh, I did that too. Somebody answered that in the comment. It's called complacency. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
You did it too.
Yeah, I said it.
So it's just
Hello?
it's about
What
it
happened to
still
you?
goes back to the same answer. Everyone will go through that phase where the in love experience will fall off,
What
2 years or less, right? And they stop doing everything they do romantically because you're now the homie. After all, you're there. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere anyway. Believe it or not, you do it to him in other ways as well too, right? But we're talking about the one he does to you, right? But it's very, very normal, okay? Normal doesn't mean you normalize it. It means you should talk about it and say, hey, I would like to feel like I'm your girlfriend again, right? Hey, I don't want to feel like the homie. I want to feel like I'm the lady that you fell in love with. We need to talk about this. I need to date night, whatever you want to do that will spice things up a little
Traditional
bit.
man. Traditional men don't do date nights.
Oh, well, guess what they would do? They also gravitate away from pain or towards pleasure. So if he's getting some kind of pleasure from behaving this way, he will continue. But if he's human like the rest of us, traditional or not, if he experiences some kind of pain in the form of you don't show up the way you show up normally, you're tired. You don't want to wait until you die before before you express yourself. But trust me,
Yeah.
he's human like the rest of us, and he's getting some kind of value from you. You need to identify what that is, traditional or not, and then
okay.
use that as leverage.
I
Yeah.
also I just want to say something. What I'm doing right now, I don't know if it's wrong or right. Since he's not really into me and the kids, so what I do, and aside of all this, when is in need, he needs help. He still comes to you for the help. That please, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And you've been giving, but since you now realize that you don't really understand what is happening, it's like no plans for the kids and yourself. You now decide that even though he's dying, you won't give him your money again. You don't have. You don't, when he requests, you say no, I don't have, and you put it that way. Is it wrong?
And to be, I've pushed some things around, so I'll hang out for as long as you want me to. Okay. Now,
Okay. Thank you.
here's what I'll say about that, right? If you need to identify how you feel about when he requests for something, right? You need to first of all identify that. If every time he comes to you and requests some of these things that you're not able to do, or you are stretching yourself too thin, right? You need to not continue living like that,
Yeah.
traditional men or not. I don't know
Yeah.
what you have to do, but the best thing is, again, identify what he's getting out of you and say, I cannot keep doing this until I die.
Yeah.
I
This
need
is
us
what I
to address
hear.
this.
Yeah, this is what I heard this lady saying. This man is spending his money on extended family in Nigeria, and I hear that a lot on this
Yeah,
platform.
it's common. Yeah.
Men who show up big outside. Jessica was telling us experience. There's no food in the house. They'll buy food for friends and extended family, send money to Nigeria, but neglect their immediate family
Yes.
while
That's
laying all the burden of the family on the wife. Yet they spend their money on things like they don't prioritize their own immediate family.
I'll tell you, I did the same thing. I was the guy who is the businessman, entrepreneur, who figured it out, who wants to take care of everyone. And little did I know that in the first 1, 2, 3 years, I told you she asked for divorce at the 9 years mark. So she
Yeah.
also built all those resentment. When she was talking at the point of 9 years, she started to talk about all the things that was wrong from the
Yes,
beginning.
yes, women are
Right?
like that. We are like that.
Right? All those things were stored there. Things that I don't
Yes,
even remember, including that I did this for that person, I did that, and we were quote unquote suffering. Now, as a typical man or traditional man, I would say, what do you mean we're suffering? See, I'm receiving that from a logical standpoint as because I know we didn't suffer from a practical standpoint. But once a woman goes into a place, we could have done this, we could have done this, we could have, and the emotions, she's speaking from emotions. So what is she trying to say? She didn't say we suffered. She said it verbally. That's not what she's trying to say. How does a man get into a space where he start paying attention that there's more I need to hear about this? That's when he get into a space where the vibe is painful for him. So what is that painful vibe for me? When I felt like I failed in my marriage, it had to get there for me. That was that point for me. It doesn't have to become that for everybody, but what I'm saying is that if a man does not feel pain as a direct effect of you feeling drained, it's not going to change his behavior, traditional or not, because there's no reason to change. You're still here, because men can be self-sustainable and say, oh, you don't want to give me sex, I'll be all right, I'll figure that part out, right?
Yeah.
But that still doesn't help you, because again, you are emotionally drained. So the answer goes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
Identify the value you're bringing into that relationship. Self-awareness, self-worth. Women have the fear of the unknown. They don't want to leave their husband because they don't know how they're going to take care of them. That is
Yeah.
self-worth issue. Okay, you need to understand the value you bring into that relationship, either you're paying bills or not.
Yeah. Somebody
Identify
said
that
he's a
and work from there.
narcissist. That's what somebody is saying, that he's a narcissist.
But
And you know
well,
what?
we can label him all we want. Doesn't help. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? You see why a lady like this will move her love to her children, living with a man like that?
That's an obvious reason, right?
Can
Yeah.
you see? Okay. I wish Uncle Tony was here. This is a typical example. When a woman doesn't feel that attachment to her husband, the thing that brought them together, that love, there's a disconnect. The children are the immediate people that the love goes to. And then you now say, oh, I'm jealous. Before the children, we were together. But I don't feel you because you don't hear me. You are overwhelming me. You don't show me love. You don't care for me. All you do is just be doing your thing somewhere else while I'm here, practically screaming out.
Yes.
I want you to see me. I want you to hear me. I'm dying here.
Yes. To the comment on the screen, narcissism or narcissist or clinically diagnosed narcissist is a real thing. It's not an absolute. It's not the end of the world. If you go on our Instagram page, there's a video of a guy, a self-aware narcissist guy, who realized that he's a narcissist. We know that narcissist is uncurable. Doesn't mean it can't be managed, especially if they're self-aware. Doesn't mean it can be managed. So no, I would probably guess that Nicole, I guess, is not married. I could be wrong. It's very easy. I could be wrong, but I would guess that she's probably not married. It's not the easiest thing to just run when you are in even ordinary relationship that's 2 years that's not married. How much more when you are married, right?
Yeah. First love is your question answered?
Yeah, it's answered.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You take care of yourself. Listen to what Ola has told you, and then have those conversations, like he said, 3 times, and see how it goes from there. Yeah.
Okay.
We wish you all the best. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
So the idea of running from narcissist, by the way, we all have narcissistic traits. We're not all narcissists, but we have the trait. Okay. Any moment you find yourself where you're just selfish out of just being human, right? That's narcissistic traits right there. And who's to say when it becomes you're a narcissist, right? Who's to say that? So the rhetoric that once somebody is narcissist, you should just run, that's not helpful, especially any form of label. There are more labels than narcissist that you can read in textbooks and psychology and all these kind of things. I think it's always best to come from a place of open-mindedness, right? As opposed to going towards the nearest absolutes you can find in your mind, because your absolutes come from your experience or the books you've read, your knowledge, and this kind of thing. Again, when you diagnose this, know what it is, self-aware about it, it can absolutely be managed. Managing means don't pour from an empty cup. If you're pouring from...
is it not even when you agree and acknowledge the fact that you've got this condition? How many African men will agree to that? They won't say it that way. They won't
not
say
only we did not agree to that, even ordinary, please help me clean. They're not going to agree to something that may seem that simple either. They don't agree if they don't experience pain.
Yeah.
Nobody changes their behavior unless it represents gravitating towards pleasure and away from pain. All of us, regardless of how holy you think you are.
Yeah. Umba. I think I got it the other day. Umbasi. Hi, Umbasi.
You're muted now. Or mute again. There you go.
Okay. Hi, Queen Bee. Hi, Ola.
Hi.
How you doing?
Umbasi.
We're all right. How are you?
Good. I kind of came late, but from where I joined you guys, I've been really listening because, and I'm glad at the point that I'm joining in right now, because it kind of brings me to the question I want to ask Ola.
Okay.
You are talking about the narcissist and all of that. I'm in the midst of that right now, and my relationship is at the point where, for sure, everybody's gonna go on their separate way. And I heard it that you talk about the therapy. I've been myself, I brought, because at one point, this is like a 15 years marriage, but at one point, like 2 years ago, as confusing as it was, I couldn't understand what was going on. So I put myself in therapy. So from that therapy, then I get to the point that I am now. Okay. I have an individual therapy. We had a collective therapy that's almost like I dragged him in there, and he kind of pretended like he came along, because at the point that he followed me to that therapy, it's like there's no any other option. He knows that my foot is out of the door.
You are done.
You know what I mean? So I feel like he did that then just to drag me back in. It's a long story. I'm trying to cut it short, okay? So I think he did that to drag me back in. So yes. At that moment, I kind of, because I've been reading a lot of books through my therapists that I attended many times, and other outlets that are kind of seeking for how to manage my relationship. You know what I mean? I kind of end up finding out like it might be like he has a narcissistic trait. It's not diagnosed. I can't diagnose him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he has, he's there.
Yeah. All of them do, by the way. All of them. Most of them when they're behaving this way. Yeah.
So it's there. It's very obvious from the. So I kind of went back from the beginning of a relationship up to anyway. So now the question I want to ask you is, because now all his trick, whatever he's doing, is not working no more, and he cannot realize it. Okay. And now he's using the kids. Okay, he's using the children. Now our children is very little.
Right.
So, and that is the most painful part of this journey for me. Okay, because it's like he has no his parenting style is not for intentional parenting, as we talked about yesterday. It's more of attention seeking parenting kind of thing. Okay, so he is pouring so much to the kids that I can't handle it as much as our relationship is concerned, that the kids don't even have the emotion to quite understand or to hold to what he's talking about. And I know he's doing that just to get to me. He's doing that to maneuver the kids towards him, which I've been trying so hard. But at this point, I don't know what else I can tell the kids to, because they are little. The oldest is 11. So you can imagine. So it's tender, all this situation to them is like you're in front of a judge, I swear. I watched him doing it. I couldn't take it. I just kind of, and I was just all I can do was to breathe in and breathe out, because I don't want two chaotic parents in front of little children. So I have to be the end of it, of the receiving end of everything that he's doing. It's very hard to be in that position. So what can I do to help the kids? Because my focus right now is the emotional state of the children. They are very smart. They kind of, I've been talking to them through my therapy, this and that, but I want to seek for more information since you are here to help me, how I can better deal with them in a way that it's not going to be too chaotic. It's already chaotic, but not to get too chaotic for them, because it's trying to do everything and it's going to do more because we are just getting started.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
So sorry to hear about what you're going through. So sorry. Here's, as usual, I don't want to make it too much particularly about you. As far as particularly you, I want you to stay in therapy. All right, that's number one. But let's bring it a little bit out generic, right? This is very common to women, right? It's very common to women. Women, they pour everything out until they're completely drained. Including your children, by the way. You're pouring too much out into your children until you're drained. And if you know anything about how life works, you want to make sure you take care of yourself, because you cannot save the kids until you're good. And I hear your children quite a bit in everything you were saying. I heard that quite a bit. You cannot save the children if you're not good. If you're not good.
Yeah. Even in the airplane, they tell you to wear your mask before you put on the one for the children.
Right.
If you have children. In case of emergency. They say wear your own first before you wear your own first.
Wear your own first. So now, just to adjust what I said earlier, narcissism, right? It's not your job to diagnose. That's precisely what I'm saying. Don't self-diagnose. Because you see somebody are selfish in their behavior, don't self-diagnose is precisely what I'm saying. Don't run so quick in the angle of the extreme worst case scenario. Instead, I want you to refocus all that energy back on self. There is something about you that's attracting narcissism. I know, like I said earlier, the easiest thing is to point blame finger, self-guilt, condemnation, and judgment. But all four of those things will backfire every day in relationships. If you move on without understanding this, you're going to put it on the next relationship, because the trauma you're bringing from that past relationship, you're going to put it on the next relationship, because your guards are going to be up and you're going to miss out on life and love. That's precisely what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to run from narcissism. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you to run before that. If you feel drained, before you diagnose if somebody is narcissistic or not, if you're feeling drained and you're feeling like you're pouring from an empty cup, make sure you're good first. Now, it's not the easiest thing for a mother to say, let me leave my children alone. What I'm telling you is that you should do as much as you can do. Now, the part where you're worried about what does this say to the kids, that is the part where you're starting to pour from an empty cup, because you cannot control other adults, especially when he's the father. When you go into relationships and marriage, it's a move of faith. You're just going to have faith when he has the babies, because the worst thing you can do, unless it's physically harmful to the kids, is remove the babies from their father's life. Let him say whatever he says. Don't worry about it. Your kids are smart, like you said. They are smarter than us.
Right.
They can separate the nonsense, because they're watching actions more than your words, by the way.
Yeah.
The same thing
Right.
goes for you. If you're worried about, let me say, you're going to end up saying all these negative things about him, and by the way, you're pouring toxic material into your kids by doing
You
that.
need to focus on yourself.
Focus on self,
yourself.
please.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
Okay.
Focus on
So,
yourself.
so just for so like if the kid comes to me and they say, because in most cases, how I find out is they will keep asking me questions that is daddy this or that is that, and I try to explain in the best ability I could. Not
How old are they? Martin, how old are your kids?
9, 11, and 7.
Okay, yeah, still quite young. So the oldest
Yeah,
is
they're
9.
young.
They're picking up that you're not taking care of yourself more than anything else.
Yeah.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
They are picking up the fact that you're not self-sustainable and self-sufficient in terms of taking care of self more than anything else. They're watching mommy and how she takes care of herself.
Yeah.
That's more so what they're picking up more.
Do you cry? Are you crying in front of them?
Maybe like one time actually, and that was recently.
Okay, so now they are worried about you.
Yeah.
They are worried about you. Kids worry.
And there's nothing wrong with the fact that you cried. We just want to be aware of the effects long term, right?
Okay. Kids worry. So try not to bring them in, and try everything. Whatever happens, what I would say is that do not, under any circumstances, say anything negative about their dad to them.
No, I never.
Don't do that.
Even
don't do that.
In the most difficult time, I never having to do that.
Yeah,
I don't feel the need to even do that.
Mommy and daddy are in a place right now where things are not so good, but mommy loves them, daddy loves them. That's all they need to know.
Right. Okay.
Is he a good father?
I can't even say yes to that, because my interpretation of that would be
probably
an
no,
attentional
right?
father.
Does he think he's a good father?
Sometimes.
Does he think he's a good father?
No, he is excellent. He said that all the time. He is excellent.
All right, so the fact that he says it, let's make that like a little thing positive that we can focus on for the kids, and then allow it to expand, right? Like, when daddy tells you this and he buys you, even if that one thing every 3 months, right? Focus on that one little thing, because anything you focus on expands. So if you focus on that little positive thing, it has its way that it expands into your life, into the kid's life. God knows how he does it. Just focus on that.
Right.
And the negative stuff, right? Leave it out for therapy. That's what therapy is for. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Mbasi, just have faith. Yeah, have faith. Don't give up. Please try not to stress too much. Remember, you have really young kids. They need you. So please focus on yourself and take the advice they're giving you, and just go to God in prayers. I don't know. Are you a Christian?
I'm a Muslim.
You're a Muslim, okay? So I can't really give you any religious advice then.
It's okay.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say to pray,
That's all.
but I'm sure
Thank
the
you. I
Muslim,
understand.
yeah, you can pray as well. As a Muslim, you
Right.
can
Yeah, yeah.
pray.
That's what we all
Yeah,
do. Yeah. That's
yeah,
what
you
we all
can
do.
pray.
Yeah, prayer is
Okay,
powerful.
Thank you
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
all
Thanks,
right,
Ola. Thanks, Quimby. All
You're
right then.
welcome.
all
Yeah.
right. Take care, sis. Yeah. Okay, we're rounding up now. We're going to finish this. 2.5 hours is almost gone, Ola. I told you these sections are never short. Your own videos, you
Well, the
do
good news is
10.
that you warned me, kind of. So,
I did. I told you if I stop sharing the link, if I continued, people will
uh,
just be jumping in and they want to ask questions. But I think we want to end it in a
sure.
few minutes now.
I see somebody real quickly. Somebody said, "I'm sure she's been praying." That person is all of us. We are speaking from a place of experience, whatever
Yeah.
experience you had. Another person said, "A narcissist will break you, and you won't be able to control yourself when you break down." That person is speaking from a place of experience. All of these different opinions are valid. Let's
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yeah. Somebody is saying she should run. There's somebody there in the comment section that I've been monitoring her comments. It's a bit strong, but I allow it because it's not abusive.
It's okay. That's fine.
She's saying, "Oh, she should run. She should run. She should run." I'm sure she will come to a place where she will know what to do
Yeah,
by herself. We're not the one to tell her what to do. We can just advise. You know,
yeah. That's
we
it.
can just advise. That's all we can do. It is not always an easy thing when a relationship, a marriage, especially where children are involved. Women would struggle. I always say it on this platform that women want marriage more than men. We want it and we
Yeah,
struggle to live it. We do
yeah.
struggle, we rational, we give all excuses. Oh, what we put is a, oh, my children, oh, this, how will I cope? Who will marry me again at this age? Well, so many things that we consider, but
Self
still,
worth. That's self
yeah,
worth issues.
yeah.
Who will
So,
marry me?
who will marry me
I
again?
know
Yeah,
you. If
yeah,
you have, especially if you have green card.
yeah. Otherwise, how would somebody be in a relationship that is not good and you keep having kids? When you know the relationship is not good, you keep having kids,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
deeper than logic. It's deeper than
Yeah,
logic. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's something like that. Anyway, we want to thank everyone for coming, especially Ola. I don't know what happened to Uncle Tony. Uncle Tony just disappeared.
His
He
connection was struggle.
disappeared. Yeah, his connection was off and on, and I thought he was going to come back. He probably got busy. Maybe he was at work. I don't know, but hopefully, we thank him for coming as well.
Yes,
He dropped some gems, and one of the things he said I'm taking away is that what men want evolves as they grow, as
yes,
they age. It's not
absolutely,
always the same. That
absolutely.
you need to, make sure that you are checking to see that what they wanted when they're 30 is not the same thing they want when they are 45 or 50. So yeah,
Yes,
I
because
took that away.
wisdom is a function of time. You can't
Yeah.
wake up at 21 and have wisdom. Sorry, I'm sorry, young
Mhm.
people. It doesn't work that way.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, any last words from the comment section? I'm going to end in 3 to 4 minutes. Does anybody have anything they want to say to Ola? Somebody says, Nicole, you are the one I was talking about. Your comments are really, really strong, but it's okay. Learn to set boundaries and enforce them. Mhm. Ola is an experienced marriage counselor. He's an expert. Someone was asking
I'm a
where Ola
coach, not a
is.
counselor. I'm a coach. I'm a
He's a
content creator.
coach. He's a marriage coach, not counselor. Ola is based in the US.
I probably won't listen to your misery. I will tell you what's the problem. What do you want? This is what you need to do it. And a lot of people that are not going through pain, experience, they won't listen to what I have to say. If I say marriage is not about give and take, if you're not going through pain, you won't understand that. You're like, what? What? It's not give and take. No, it's not. You go into a relationship to give. You give to self first, though. You give to self first, so you can pour into other people from a place of
Thank you, Annie
abundance.
Splatter, for the super chat. Yeah, somebody said that Ola must be a great husband and a great dad. But remember, he didn't come to this place in one
I
day.
didn't fall out of
Remember,
the skies.
yeah, remember, it's because of work. He's put work into himself and his marriage. Remember, he told us 9 years into marriage, the wife wanted to divorce him. So it's good. Self-awareness is the best gift you can give yourself.
That's it.
Knowing that, like you said, we have to keep learning. We have to keep learning and teaching ourselves and growing and changing and not being, I'm like this. My father was like this. I can't change. Don't expect me to change. This is how my father was. What is wrong with me? Never works.
Yeah,
Never.
because it's pleasurable to be in that same space.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole, for the super chat. So any last
I
advice
appreciate you, Nicole.
or yeah, thank you, Nicole. Yeah, any last advice and some encouragement or whatever you have to
Yes.
say to my subscribers?
Yes, I would like to give three words, okay? And we'll call it the GPS system. It's God. If you don't believe in God, change it to gratitude, purpose, and self. If these things are bad, you will attract the worst of love and life, okay? If these things are not in the right place, you attract misery and suffering, okay? And you will call it love too, okay? You will attract narcissist, worst case scenario and the little case scenario. That's not all, but that can break you, right? Relationships are tough, but you cannot run from relationships because that's who we are, okay? God or gratitude, if you don't believe in God, purpose and self, GPS, okay? Self, because don't pour from an empty cup. You're human. You will never be God. God, because the only source of unconditional love is God. Human beings, especially ladies, you are not capable of unconditional love. Once you don't receive love, respect, and submission and trust, which is most men's love language, you fly out the window. So it's conditional.
Yeah.
But with God, things can be closer to unconditional love.
Yeah.
Purpose, because you will have time for a lot of nonsense if you're not in your personal purpose in life. Your personal purpose has to be bigger than yourself. So how much more your spouse? So it's even automatically bigger than them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Self-love, self-development, self-improvement. Discard common sense. Common sense is the baseline. You need to build from there. Everyone has common sense in their own idea. You
Yeah.
need to build from there. There are things about how you operate from an emotional standpoint, men and women, that you will not understand until you've gone through pain, until you've gone through, because there's no pain, no gain. That's how life works.
Yeah.
Now your pain will be different from people to people, different from person to person. We don't get to judge other people if after experiencing one little pain they want divorce. We don't get to manipulate them. That's enough for them. We don't get to do that. Everyone is different. So there is no guarantee that your spouse is here listening to me. They may just be narcissists and will never listen. So make sure you're taking care of self.
Self. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ola.
Thank
We
you so much.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
For
Thank you,
bringing this
everyone. I
done.
appreciate the time.
Yeah, Ola has
Yeah.
got a YouTube channel. It's called Lola and Ola. That's their YouTube channel, and they do upload content there as well. So please, guys, if you want more of this wisdom, that's the name of the YouTube channel there. It's just their name there, Lola and Ola. And they also have a website. Ola, can I allow you to say, where your resources are that people
Right.
can check you out?
Yeah, sure. It's at Lola and Ola everywhere. Lola and Ola on
Instagram,
YouTube,
yeah.
on Facebook, on Instagram, lolaandola.com. If you want access straight to the book, it's getmymarriageback.com. It will get you to the book. You will not be able to comprehend what's in the book if you feel like your marriage is perfect. If your marriage is in a good place, you would disagree with a lot of things. There's a good chance you will. But if you're in a place where you know that you could do better, you should pick up the book. The book is not a Bible. It's our own insights. You take it, you run with it, you create your own gospel and what works for you.
Right. Thank you guys so much. Please support Ola's channel. They're doing really good work with his wife, Lola. And they're on YouTube here, Lola and Ola. Their website is lolaandola.com. They're on Instagram and Facebook as well. Thank you so much, Ola.
Thank you, my sister.
I appreciate
You're
you.
doing
Thank
well.
you.
You're doing well. A lot of people don't know how much hard work goes into this, but
I know.
they will learn when they try to open their own.
When they try to open their hand, then they'll come. After 3 months, they'll come and say, Auntie B, please help me. How are you doing it? Help me grow my channel. I'm like, you think it's more?
I remember you going through the loss of the channel. We have bigger follower, but we've lost channels since 2009 that we've been at this.
It's a struggle. YouTube is a struggle. If you don't have the passion, you won't go far. You will not.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Yeah. If you don't have the purpose, and I call it a calling. That's why I jokingly
call it a calling. It's the same thing.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because do you know I've done 2 videos today? This is my 3rd video
You don't
today.
have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. In fact, kudos to you. The editing, all of that. Oh my God.
Somebody said if you find your passion, you will never walk again. I believe so.
Fact. Fact
Yeah,
of life.
I believe
Yes.
so. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Ola. I
All right.
appreciate
No
you.
problem. Thank you.
Dr. Ola, please tell her
Yes.
we're going to invite her. We are sisters, don't worry. We are
No,
doing what
no, she
women
got you.
want.
She got you. She
What
knows.
women want. I got you. Don't
All
worry.
right.
Give me a
All
thumbs
right.
up.
Take care. All right.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye, Ola. Thank you so much. So, guys, I hope you've been blessed and you've learned one or two things, especially us, the ladies. We are learning from Ola has just downloaded so much wisdom. Too much wisdom. And I hope you were taking notes. I've got my notes here. Please follow his channel, follow his website. Download that book. It's free. You're not paying for it. It's a free book. It's on their website. You can, if you are single, you can also download it and just read it in preparation. Yeah, we need all that resources to help us. Give this video a thumbs up. Have you subscribed? If you have not subscribed, please do so before you leave this video. And for anyone that is catching this video later on after the live stream, please give this video, smash the like button and also subscribe. And please share this video with your contact, your WhatsApp group, your Facebook, and anybody that you feel will learn from this content. I'm sure you agree with me that this was an amazing session. Thank you so much, come on, sister. Nicole, thank you. Lola, I appreciate you. Thank you, Annie Splatter. Lola and Ola, I see you in the comment section. Yeah, thank you so much. Let me pin that so that, yeah, that's Lola and Ola. Can you even see the profile picture? They're all loved up here. Love is sweet, oh. Thank you, Balaji. Have a good evening, guys. I love you. And I shall speak to you in my next video. Thank you so much, everyone. Mwah. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.